started.
That was like perfect timing. Like our audio came in ready to receive input as you said that. So as the intro's fading out, it's just let's get it started. Anyway, speaking of getting it started, we are some of the losers here, ready for action, if you will.
Always ready for action.
Yeah. In the ADLR podcast, this week we're short of Brian De La Rosa because Spectrum is horrendously, shitting the bed. And he'll be back next week if they get his internet fixed. On the bright side, we traded a Brian for another Brian. Weird is back this week from his hiatus. Speaking of which, did they get all the Florence stuff done? Good to go. Y'all moved in, back here.
I mean, it's installed and we're moved back in. They still got a lot of repairs and things, but
okay. It's never that simple, huh? Never as simple as a microwave replacement, huh?
The Llama says, shit at shitting the bed. I call bullshit. Spectrum is the world leader in shitting the bed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I thought Comcast was bad. It's just when I had Spectrum, I never had an issue in my apartment with it. What I'm telling you, that thing was up, no problem. Even during hurricanes, I'm like, yo, Spectrum's a shit. Then I moved to Comcast, and I'm like, they're purposely fucking like...
My favorite is when they were like, hey, we're going to do an update during your stream. Thanks.
Middle of the day, right? Just, it's time for maintenance. Hello? People are using it. What's happened to off hours? What happened to overnight? What maintenance are you doing? The only maintenance I want from Comcast in the middle of the day is them laying down fiber wire. That's the only thing I want. And look, can you imagine 1 gigabit upload? Fuck off. The pixelation on your video would not be happening. Right?
Wait, you getting pixelated?
Yeah. Mine's getting yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, why are you gonna make fun of me like that on national television? Right?
How is it making fun of you?
This production that we have here, right?
Yeah, but that's not your fault. You can't control what the internet gives you.
Yeah, I can.
You can? You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Through strong means, right? Like I can, like if I have power, right? Remember the whole supervillain thing?
If.
Yeah.
He's also in control.
Thank you. See, someone's paying attention. He wasn't even here for like 3 weeks. He still remembers. Do you know what my title is? Randall, they can see you now. So you want to the show started with you looking at your phone. So if you want to pick it up again and you're saying, "Nah, bro, I don't do that often."
No, I don't.
Okay. Shoot. Okay, people. Where do we start for this week, right? Randall's super hyped for Arcane. You want to start with Arcane then, Randall? Get that hype going.
Yes.
Let's get it, Randall. Okay, League of Legends and Netflix got a collaboration. They made a animated series. It's a show, right? Not like multiple movies back to back.
Yeah, it's a series. It's 3 acts. Each act is 3 episodes.
Okay. So tell me about it. First 3 episodes came out a week ago, and the second set dropped a couple days since recording this. How much? I guess the first question is how much League of Legends lore do you have?
Very little. I know about the characters, but I don't know much about their backstories.
Okay.
You ever like saw something so great that you don't know where to start?
Yeah, porn.
Oh my god. It's one of those situations. This is probably so already in my what is it we're doing top 10, right?
For movies. We don't do TV
I'm
shows.
talking about like at the end of the year, it's a top 10 of are you doing it like everything together or is it like by category?
For top 10s or by category? It's always been movies, games, and music. We never did TV shows because I don't think we watch enough new TV seasons to justify it.
Man, I was going to say that. Oh, I guess this would be under the category of TV shows, right? This is a TV series.
Yeah.
This would definitely be number one, without like no question. And if Bryant was here, I would immediately tell him that it's game of the year. Like
I was getting
times-
ready to ask.
times over. Like this is flawless.
I know the hype you've given me so far, Random. I will be looking for ways to tear this shit down.
So I have a quick question up front. How often is Vi in the show?
The whole time.
Okay, definitely
It's
gonna have
about
to
her
watch
and her
this.
sister. It's about
Okay,
her. It's like centered around her and Powder.
See, like
Her
I
and
don't
who?
I don't know anything about League. I don't know if you just made that up. Those names, like
Who is the other one?
Her sister Powder was
The
later
fuck is
who
Powder?
was later named Jinx.
Oh, okay. Jinx, I know. I've never heard Powder.
Well, Jinx's real name is Powder.
Okay.
like Powder Puff Girls. You guys can move on. You guys can
It's
kick me
Power.
out. I know, I understand. You can kick me off the call now. You guys can just take over.
The thing is, though, is that you said that, and my brain came to a stop because I was like, that sounds wrong. But I can't honestly think about it right now.
No, it's Powerpuff, but I said
I know.
Powder, so don't
That's
worry
why
about it.
my brain stopped, because I was like, this doesn't sound right.
There's low hanging fruit, and then there's just not funny jokes, right? Like this is falls in under that. We're just gonna move on, right? You miss the shots you don't take. This was clearly shooting civilians on accident, right? The hell you laughing at, Randall?
I don't remember what I was saying after that comment.
You were talking about gunpowder. I mean, powder.
I was talking about gunpowder.
Yeah. You're talking about powder and the relationship between Jinx and what is it? Vi?
Bye. Man, I can't really talk about this because I'm gonna get too hyped and I'm gonna just start talking about junk. So all I'm gonna say is this was so far it's been an excellent show. I've seen 6 episodes. I think the last next 3 are the last act, what I read. Everyone must watch this. Whether you're into League of Legends or not. If you're just looking for like really good storytelling, really good acting, very good animation, beautiful visuals. Oh my god, the fight choreography, bro.
Makes you nut.
Yo, man, like
Is this done by Riot, or is this done by a third party?
yeah, by Riot.
I mean, all of Riot's animations have been spectacular over the years. Like, it just gets better and better, and their fight stuff is awesome. So I can only imagine how amazing this actually is.
Never seen anything like this, bro. Never. And I watch a lot of animation and stuff. From 2D to CG, like I should say 3D.
What about 4D? I haven't gotten to that yet.
Anyway,
Oh, okay, my
bad. Yeah, man, like everything is just perfect. I can't find anything wrong with it. Nothing. Because I thought like I thought the first 3 episodes, because I was explaining to Anthony when I first watched it, I was like, came in here and I was telling him, I was like, man, this stuff is hype. It's really good. It's whatever, blah, blah, blah. He was like, he heard all the hype, but he said he had already had intentions on watching it. So I was telling him after I watched the first 3 episodes, I was just like so hyped. I thought it was just me. Because like I'm an artist, I'm into art and CG and stuff like that. So I thought maybe it was just like a love for my passion. I decided to look it up on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what the rating is currently. At the time, critics gave it 100 and people gave it a 98. So that goes to show you how good this show is. I thought that they were gonna like drop the ball with the next 3 episodes, like 3 through 6, just as good as the first 3. It's like this is I can't praise it enough, man. It's everything is good. The music is good. The animation, the facial expressions, the body movement, like the emotion conveyed through the characters, like everything is like really well done. I have no idea how long it took them to make this, but whoever like was in charge, the animators, the people who wrote the script, story, everything, like um, emotion behind everything, like not very often, if any, I don't really rave about fight choreography when it comes to like not live action. When it comes to like anime and stuff like that, I've seen some cool stuff in anime or whatever, but this junk is oh, like my brain almost went into like a not like a meltdown, but it was like breaking because it was like I can't tell if this is like mocap or if this was like hand animated because it's so stylized. But the movement is so fluid, man. Like it's really good, bro. Really, really good. That everyone should watch this. Everyone.
Even newborns.
Everyone.
Okay, good. All right, I have to check it out. I mean, I have it on my checkout list. I might just wait for like next week.
Told you when you watch it, let me know because I'll watch it with you. Like I will watch that. I'll watch that junk over and over and over and over. It's kind of like when
Dune came out.
I was gonna say when the first Matrix came out. Like when the first Matrix came out, nobody really knew about it. I don't even think they had that many commercials for it, but I remember when I went to go see it, I was just like blown away. I ended up seeing that movie 10 times in the theater. 10 times.
Damn, because of you, they got enough cash to make the second one.
Was it just me? It was just me. I thought it was just me, but then the more I started to go to the theater, I started to hear people say, "How many times have you seen this movie?" Like people I didn't know, just hearing random conversations in the theater before the movie started. People were like, "How many times you saw this movie?" Some people were like, "Oh, this is my 3rd time. This is my 4th time." Blah blah blah. I was like, a lot of people saw that movie multiple times.
That's wild.
But it's like it's that situation, at least for me. Like as many times as I saw the first Matrix movie, like I can watch this over and even though I know what happens, I can watch it over and over and over because it's done so well.
So you hate it? You're not recommending it? Arcane. All right, it's just trash League of Legends troll community. No, you don't want. Nobody should watch this. That's what we got from that review, right?
That's what you got?
Yeah, I think Kelsey's on the same boat too.
I mean, it's definitely got marked off my list. So
I had it on my backlog. I was gonna, watch it like this second, like stop the podcast immediately, but it sounds like it's just trash. So I guess we'll come back to it. All right, cool. I hope it sticks a landing then. If we already got 6 episodes in and even the midway through is still good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of afraid for the last 3. If it is indeed the last 3.
Yeah, it's a 3-part, so 3-part act. So it ends this Friday, actually. Actually, if you're listening to this on a podcast service, it's out. I think it's pretty much on Friday or Friday night. I'm not sure entirely, but cool. All right, I'm excited because I remember watching that trailer. I don't know, maybe a few months ago, 6 months to a year ago. And then I think I asked Nick, I'm like, yo, do these guys like are legit lore masters or is this going to be good? And he's like, yeah, most likely it's going to be good. So I'm like, okay.
Have you talked to anybody else that has watched it so far?
No, I think you're the only one that actually went through and watched it that I know of. I don't know who else has watched it yet. Or maybe I do know and I just forgot. Right? Like I'm forgetting more and more as the days go by. So like unless I write it down, it's gone. It's so weird. Unless it's like anything tech related, gone.
What that is, right? Sign of old age.
It's just sign of just sometimes I heard that if you come a lot, you lose your memory.
Oh my god, man! Where do you get your? You need to talk to your contacts, bro. They be feeding you some crap.
Nah, I don't know about that. I also heard like if you masturbate too much, you go blind or something. Look who has glasses, right?
You're not blind though.
Actually, I just read something that said to help prevent prostate cancer later in life, guys are supposed to masturbate up to like 20 times a month at least.
There you go. Not getting prostate cancer. There's pros and cons. Really. You can be blind but no prostate cancer, right? So you gotta pick your fucking battles. All right, that's clearly a high recommendation there. So I'm definitely gonna be watching that soon. To be honest, I was just gonna watch it because of the art, because that trailer showed off a little bit of it. I'm like, I'm in. Just to watch that thing in motion. So if the story's good too, that's great. Kelsey, you've been out for a while, so we need to hear you speak for a bit, right?
I don't know. It sounds pretty boring to me.
I don't know. We're gonna go back to back on Netflix's real quick. Netflix with Arcane, and you hit me with Red Notice. All right.
This movie is absolutely hilarious. Like, it's Ryan Reynolds playing himself, basically.
As he does now.
And it's like if Indiana Jones, the Da Vinci Code, and Ocean's 11 got together and made a movie. Okay.
Holy crap! You're selling me on the Ocean's 11 part. So
it is absolutely hilarious. The quips, the dialogue, and the chemistry between Dwayne, Ryan, and Gal is just great.
I hear that Ryan Reynolds calls him DJ, so just refer to Dwayne Johnson as DJ.
As DJ.
Thanks.
Yeah. All of it, everything about it is just amazing. Like, I don't know that there was a single thing that I was like, oh, they could have done that better. No, like, it just has you rolling with laughter the entire time. It's amazing. You should just go watch it. Like, there's nothing really else I can say. Just go watch it. It is fucking hilarious.
Okay. So they nailed the comedy down. Is there any drama between like the characters, or is it just full on?
Oh, there's tons of drama between the characters.
Got it. Okay.
I don't want to, like, because there's so much, and I don't want to spoil anything. And I think it would, if I told you, like, even if I like mentioned a couple of lines, it would take away from, from the movie. And I think it would be best just to go watch it. But it's about DJ is an FBI agent or a CIA agent, and he's trying to track down and catch Ryan Reynolds' character. And Ryan Reynolds is, according to the movie, the second best art thief in the world, because Gal Gadot's character is the first. And it's kind of a big rivalry between Ryan and Gal, and then DJ, joins in the fun because he's tracking them down. And it's just incredible.
Oh, so he's not part
it's on
of
Netflix.
So he's not on. Okay, I thought they were all thieves. I didn't know DJ was like the cop or something going after them. That's going to be an interesting. So he's chasing them the entire time then.
Yeah, it's like Catch Me If You Can.
Awesome. Okay, I'm down. You're naming a lot of movies I like, so if it's like those, I'm in.
It's great. It's everything about it is just wonderful. The scenes with the characters and their little quips back and forth are just priceless. Ryan Reynolds, it's basically Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool in this, where he just is like he shoots somebody in the foot and goes, oh no, I'm so sorry, and then just goes on and continues killing people type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
So it's everyone firing on all cylinders then.
Yes.
Lit. Okay.
Yes.
So you think it's trash? Also, that we're back to back with just shit things to watch on Netflix. Cool. So highly recommend that. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, definitely highly recommend it.
I guess not. I don't want spoilers, but can this be a sequel thing? Like like you have Rush Hour on here. We're gonna get to that in a second. Can it be like a comedy? Like a trilogy of a bunch of comedies back to back with these guys, or no?
I don't know if it's a trilogy, but I definitely could see a sequel coming up.
Gotcha. Okay. So I want to see if it's like a franchise, if this could be a possible like franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really enjoying a lot of the a lot of the names that are like pairing up, like Ryan and Dwayne and Gal, and then what I always forget his name. I don't know why. Aquaman and Drax. Dave
Oh,
Bautista and
Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Yes, thank you.
I was about to say,
Uh,
what is it? I always forget Momoa's Jason. I always forget Jason's name. I know
yeah.
him by
So
Momoa, and that's it.
yeah. So Aquaman and Drax, have been playing a lot of stuff. Like they're in C, the show C. It doesn't start until season 2 that they like meet and things, but he is in that. I think they did something else together, and they've been talking about doing like a buddy cop movie together. But I'm just really loving like a lot of the big names, just like being like, hey, we should pair up and do this because I think it'd be awesome, and just the personalities and things just really mesh really well. Like Ryan Reynolds is like a much taller version of Kevin Hart, so he and DJ get along really great.
That's great. DJ. Oof. Okay. Well, on that note, speaking of buddy cops, I'm assuming you've watched all 3 Rush Hours, right? Like this isn't something new. You've gone
No.
through. Okay.
I've seen all of them. Nick and I have been just watching, because was it we were doing fight movies for a while, so we did like
Never Back Down.
Never
and-
Back Down, Fighting, Blood and Bone, and we're gonna continue that. We're gonna do the Undisputed series.
Oh,
And
okay.
I found out, and I didn't know this, or I remember them like talking about it, but I don't remember them actually coming out. There are 2 Tekken movies. Yeah.
I saw one of the Tekken movies.
So there's Tekken, and then there's hang on, let me pull it up.
Wait, did
There's
I watch
Tekken,
Tekken? I think I saw Dead or
Kazuya's
Alive.
Revenge.
Okay, so I didn't watch a single Tekken movie. I saw Dead or Alive is what I saw. Are you
Yeah.
And it's like, is it a recent movie or is it?
No. This is 2014. This is 7 years ago.
Okay, that is.
And then the original Tekken was 2010, so 11 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think they use a different cast for the first and second one. But it should be gloriously bad, and I'm excited.
Yeah, like I didn't even know. I knew about the Dead or Alive one and I watched it. Well, because pervert me, I've played Dead or Alive games, so I'm like, there's a Dead or Alive movie? I'm going to watch it. So I ended up watching it for reasons. And then I didn't know there was a Tekken one.
I didn't either until I was like looking up fighting movies because I wanted to watch. We've been wanting to watch just like either classics, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme series, which apparently, did you ever see Bloodsport?
Yes.
Okay, but did you watched it on TV? I'm assuming.
Yes. I didn't watch it in
Okay.
theaters or anything.
Okay, so apparently, I was talking to them about it because when we were looking it up, and Nick and another buddy had just finished watching it a little while ago, and I was like, "Oh, we should watch Bloodsport, or any of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, because those are horrifically terrible, but great, fighting movies."
Right.
And they were like, "No, we just watched that, and I'm just not a fan." And I was like, "What?" And then I remembered, apparently, there's like this big rape scene and sexual assault going on in the live movie, not the TV edited version, which I had no idea about at all.
I don't remember that. Bloodsport,
I don't either.
Bloodsport is, how come you train him but not me? Right?
Yeah.
I remember those funny parts. I don't remember that. That's wild.
And so they were like completely turned off by it, and I was like, I mean, that makes sense, but that was never on because I always watched it on TV because it's one of those classic, 80s movies.
I'm sure they played on TNT yearly. TNT had a bunch of those like fighting movies running on like on Labor Day or some shit.
Yeah, but apparently it just had this like very super unnecessary, rape and sexual assault scenes. So, and I don't know if they got like if they were watching some weird version or what, but it was, they never showed any of that on the
On the
TV
telly.
version.
I didn't see none of that on the telly.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But back to Rush Hour. I mean, Jackie Chan is one of my, was one of my heroes growing up, watching all of his fight movies and things, and been on a binge with him. Chris Tucker, absolutely fucking hilarious. I love Chris Tucker in basically everything he does. Especially my favorite role for him is in Fifth Element.
Yes.
But him and Jackie, watching some of it, he is very abrasive and a little racist in the movies, and it fits the time period, and it is the way that they play it is absolutely hilarious, and just the series is absolutely astounding. I know at some point there was a Rush Hour 4 that was planned, but I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition.
No. And I don't. And one of the things might be because of the sense of the type of humor. Like those 1 and 3 will not release now, without it being just dragged through the mud. I guess dragged through the mud. There you go. Words are not coming today, so. But yeah. Okay. So out of the 3, what was your favorite?
Oh man, I don't know.
And why, I guess. For me, it's still the first one because that's where I learned. That's how I learned how to curse. Was Rush Hour 1. Chris Tucker taught me how to curse. Shout out to Chris Tucker. I know he's watching.
I mean, the first one was probably my favorite too, just because it's that the introduction to the characters and seeing them go back and forth. Their chemistry and everything definitely got a lot better as it went by, and then Jackie's English got a lot better as it went through. But just the way that they went back and forth with each other in the first one was great.
I have watched it so many times I can quote almost the entire movie. If you say a single line from Rush Hour, I know the scene. That's how many times I've watched it.
Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth?
G14 classified. That's good. Shut the hell up, guy. G14 classified. I ain't no pump bitch. Oh my god, all of it's funny.
Apparently there's a TV show called Rush Hour.
What?
Yeah, and it has an Asian dude and a black guy as cops.
Oh, okay. Well,
and the TV show it's based on the action comedy Rush Hour films about an LA cop who teams up with a detective from Hong Kong. And it's only 13 episodes, released back in 2016.
Yeah, it's not gonna make another season. What they had back in the day was lightning in a bottle. My God, that Rush Hour 1. Come on, there's no way. That rug would look good in my bathroom. Come on, there's no. Yeah. He's in the middle of a huge heist. He's over here thinking about what's gonna look good in his bathroom. What? Is that my gun? It is my gun. No, there's nothing will be Rush Hour 1 in terms of remaking it on series, in a show or something.
Want some Mushu?
Yeah, want some Mushu? He puts his face into it. There's I don't know. Delivery was key in that series, and it was good.
Which one of y'all just kicked me in the face?
Yeah. And he's looking around, eyes wide open, all right.
Clean yourself up.
Yeah.
You did.
He's like, what? Yeah, wipe yourself off, man. You did. It's too good. It's too good.
It really is.
I just want to watch it again now.
Yeah, when we saw it, we were watching all these, fight movies, and then I was like, we need a Rush Hour
marathon.
We need a Rush Hour binge, because it's one of the greatest series ever for comedy and fighting.
What the hell are you doing on this bus? Oh no, I can't. So we gotta move on from Rush Hour, or it's just gonna be the Rush Hour cast.
I love all the bloopers at the end where they show Jackie failing at stunts and things.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing. It's that much more amazing when you see in the movie him actually landing them, because he does almost all of his own stunts.
Yes. And it was that was tradition for all of his movies. He has a stunt team, but for the most part, his stunts he usually does himself. It's awesome.
Now I want to watch Rumble in the Bronx.
Shit, Rumble in the Bronx. There's another good one that he has.
He has a ton of good ones.
Chinatown, but it's in New York. I mean, it's Rumble in the Bronx or something in Chinatown. Or is that the
That's-
Russell Crowe? Not the Crow.
Oh, big problem.
Big
Little
Problems in Little
Chinatown.
China, I think it is.
Yeah,
But that's Kurt Russell, I
that's
think.
that's Kurt Russell.
Never mind. That's also a good one. If you guys are on the binging, go watch that. That's great.
The Shanghai Nights series was funny.
Yes, they did come
Tuxedo.
back for Buddy Cop with Shanghai Nights. I forgot.
Yeah, the Drunken Master series, great. Police Story, great.
Good
Just
stuff.
all sorts of great stuff.
God bless you, Jackie Chan. Shout out to Jackie Chan. I know he's watching. So you absolutely hate Rush Hour as well. Okay, so all three of them skip.
Absolutely. Just can't stand it.
We're moving on from that. So don't watch Arcane, don't watch Red Notice, and fuck Rush Hour, right? We're just
exactly.
Move on. Shoot. Okay. I'm trying to get all the 2021 stuff out of the way. Randall. You watched a Western. The man that wouldn't play Red Dead because everyone's dirty. Watched a Western. Why did you watch this Western, Randall? Right? What drew you to it? The actors' names? The director? Yeah. Netflix, right? Because this is another Netflix thing, right?
It's a lot of actors in it. Actors and actress.
All right.
I like.
Okay, well, tell us the...
Idris Elba. Gina King.
Elroy Lindo's in it. It's awesome. It's got some decent names in it.
Man, I need you to speak. Don't just look around. You're on.
He said decent.
Yeah, that's decent.
Okay.
You may say like decent's a bad thing.
Yeah, those are the top tier actors and actresses.
This is exactly why. Because you just did this. They're just great actresses. And just start whispering. With fucking balls, Randall. Talk to the mic, right?
They're cut off.
Then with your high notes achieving now, because you don't have the balls to do it, so you can Adele sing this, right? Like, there's no excuse. Come on. Like you care, Randall. Let's go.
This was another really good movie. It's also got really high ratings on Rotten Tomato. I don't know what to say.
All right, what's the premise? How does it start off?
So it's basically a movie about this kid. Parents got murdered when he was younger by somebody. And the rest of the movie is him as an adult trying to find the people responsible so he can exact revenge on them. Pretty much what the movie's about. There's like other stuff in there dealing with other characters, but this is one of those movies which what makes it good is because of the acting. It's really good because the characters are very interesting. The background is interesting. The way they talk is interesting. The way they deal with things is interesting. Everybody's like unique and different. So it's like it's a different twist on westerns. It's not your typical western you normally see. As a twist to it. I don't know what else to say. It's really good, man. Especially coming from me because, like you said,
You don't Western it up.
I don't really do the Western thing. Like what's his name? Oh my god.
What do you mean?
I'm
What?
really losing.
Yeah, you gotta think, bro.
What is Dirty Harry's name?
Oh, Clint
Clint
Eastwood.
Eastwood,
Clint
homie.
Eastwood. Yeah.
How do you not remember Clint Eastwood?
All I remember was Clint. I couldn't remember Eastwood. I like Clint Eastwood, but even even though I've watched a lot of his Western movies, I had to like fight to watch them because I don't really like Westerns. But what kept me watching them was because of him. This was it was good, man. I enjoyed it. Recommend people watch it because it's different. It's not like, especially if you're into Westerns. Guess it depends on what type of person you are because some people are like they like one formula when it comes to certain things. Still follows the formula of like typical westerns, but it's different. It's not like your usual western, at least the way people behave. And one nod that I will give this movie. I mean, there are many, but one nod that stands out to me is that my thing that I always complain about people being making stupid decisions and um yes the antagonist I don't know the way they typically have an antagonist and then they have people make stupid decisions. This movie was a perfect example of smart people dealing with a smart villain because it was a situation where it's like, well, if you do said thing, there's a possibility that this might happen. It did because the villain is not stupid, but and the people are not stupid. So it was kind of like a chess game because it was like you would think that this person would do this, so they did think to do this. They didn't just like have like they weren't narrow minded. They thought about all the possibilities. So they went in there with that knowledge in mind. Still, the villain was like, "I'm 2 steps ahead of you."
I play chess for a living. I'm not out here just doing pickup games on the weekend.
Yeah, and the main antagonist was played by Idris Elba, so he did an excellent job at doing that. He was like ruthless, man.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's the second shot because he was the villain in that Hobbs and Shaw movie.
Yeah.
So does he bring that kind of aggression to the Western one, or is he more like laid back and methodical? I remember in Shaw,
It was kind of both.
okay.
So it was kind of like in a certain kind of way he kind of act like anime villains. The way like okay, so like kind of like very calm, cool, and collective. When he says something, somebody's dying.
Oh, when he walks in, he's like, "So you think it was a good idea to do this?" And then dead.
But he doesn't have pointless conversations with people. Like there's no monologuing with him. Like everything he says, there's a reason for it.
Oh, so he doesn't waste airtime or what's it called?
There's no airtime being wasted. I'm gonna give you an example. It's not like a huge plot thing, but there was a part in the movie where he was addressing like part of the city or whatever. He was saying certain things or whatever, and there was just one person in the crowd that didn't agree with what he was saying. All he said to him, he was like, what is your name?" He said, "My name is so and so or whatever," and he just shot him. he was like, he was like, "Rest in peace, blah blah blah." He just wanted to know his name so that he can say "Rest in peace, blah blah blah."
That's my kind of villain right there. That's Brian's main right there.
So he like whenever he was on screen, it was intense because you didn't know if somebody was getting bodied or not. Like his crew was thorough too, man. Like he didn't there were no idiots in his crew. They were all like sharp. And they weren't mastermind sharp, but they were good at what they did.
So then the question is, how are the firefights? I mean, Western firefights are usually just hiding behind a corner and then like shooting overhead and stuff like that, unless it's like a duel, and then that's when the tension hits.
Unfortunately, the firefights are the same as any other Western. Like people quick drawing and hiding behind stuff. You still have some guys who are like out in the open shooting people off the roof. Like, come on, man. Like, nah. You'd have got shot in the head 15 times.
He would have been filled with fucking rounds.
Yeah. But so I mean they still do that. But there was some cool moments when it came to like firefights, but the rest of them were like your normal Western shootouts. It wasn't anything super special that I can think of off the top of my head.
So like the high tension parts are like when there's like close quarters in the middle of a conversation and somebody pulls a gun out on somebody.
Again, off the top of my head, the most intense part that I can remember didn't involve a firefight. It was more like a conversation evolved into a fist fight. The fist fight was like,
was it a brawl? Like at a bar?
It was bad, bro. It was really bad. It was like it was uncomfortable bad.
Okay. So also it shows a lot of like blood and bloodshed.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like yeah.
I gotta look up who directed this. Hold on. Alrighty.
Most of the stuff that really made this movie really good was the conversations, the dynamic between the characters, like the characters in between gangs, like the characters interacting with each other on the bad side and the characters interacting with each other on the good side, and then both the good and the bad. Like there was always some like slick conversation going on between two people. It's either usually evolve to like a fist fight or maybe a gunfight, or you thought it was going to get to a gunfight because it was getting really intense, but it didn't. But they played on that. That was really good.
Oh, I'm sold. I gotta watch this. I like my westerns, and as long as it's,
I think you'll like it. I think anyone would like it because, again, like I said, it's a new, refreshing twist on westerns. It's not like your typical western. As days are done. I don't want to say it like this, but I can't think of any other way to say it. But it's just done with a little more style, a little more flair. If that makes any sense.
More than Tarantino's?
Tarantino is just graphic. He finds creative. I'll put it like this: he finds very engaging and creative ways to kill people.
Okay.
That's what Tarantino is known for.
Okay, I can get behind that.
This was more like it wasn't leaning so much towards being graphic. It was just leaning more towards being cool, intelligent.
Okay. All right, I'm sold. I'm definitely, I'll add that as well to my backlog. My watch backlog. You feel me?
Mm.
So you definitely recommend this to people who don't like westerns too? I mean, you're one that didn't really like westerns, and this one kind of sold you. Are you now more open to watch other westerns, or is this not a gateway drug?
I don't think I'm ever gonna like westerns, man, because it was a period in time where like things were so primitive. So I think that's what makes it uninteresting to me. And of course, everyone looks like they don't take showers and wear the same pants every day, the same dirty jacket that he was wearing 2 weeks ago that he like rode the whole desert on a horse.
I mean, what do you expect them to do? Like they don't have a place that they really call home. They literally roam the Western Front.
Oh, I'm not looking for no excuses. I'm just saying what it is.
Well, I mean, that's why I like westerns, because there's less safety nets usually. Like nowadays with like modern.
Oh, you mean like somebody could just come up to your house, blow your head off, take your wife and your gold, and like they might catch the dude who did it. They might. By the time they catch him, he might be like 74 years old and don't care anymore.
Yeah, like shit's gritty out there. There's heroes and sheriffs that like you get shot once in the leg, your life's over.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
there's no like, oh, this guy got shot and he's gonna survive next week and come back with modern
Or you could
medicine.
just go to the
Yeah.
hospital, get some antibiotics, and a couple of weeks
And you're
he
fine.
might be
So
fine.
he's not. You don't. The loss comes at a toll. Like when you lose someone, you lose someone. Like it's not. Oh fuck. Let's see what happens at the hospital. It's no. He's gonna bleed out right there. Right. So when the firefight, that's why it's always like tense in westerns because they don't want to fire, they don't shoot because then they can die. Like right there, like it's more tension for me in westerns.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, again, I haven't watched many westerns, but I haven't seen a western where I felt that way. Where I felt like characters conveyed that they knew how. Like, at any moment they could be taken out. Everyone will always like just be. They'll get in the middle of a firefight and just be like in the middle of the street, like no one can hit me because I have plot armor.
Well, that's not a good move if that's what this movie is because that's not
No,
usually
I'm
how it
saying
is.
I feel like that's what most westerns are like.
Nah, maybe the Clint Eastwood ones because he's a badass, but like for the most part, it's not like that. Look, have you seen I don't even know what it was called. I guess it was a rendition of Seven Samurai. What was it
I feel
called?
like every western movie, when it comes down to it, when there's a huge firefight, protagonist is always walking down the middle of the city, shooting dudes off the roof. Or there's always some guy who is like he was like in another barn somewhere and he heard people shooting. So he grabbed his gun and he ran towards the shots and he turned the corner and he gets shot. It's always that guy.
Yeah,
The main guy is always like in the middle of the city, walking down the city, going like this.
no, you're mixing two different things.
Hitting people that are like hiding behind. Like the other guy's like, this is all you can see, and he's just like,
yeah.
I know what he's talking about.
And there's always some guy behind him, like he shot two people in front of him. There's always some guy behind him that he knows is there on a roof, and he just turns around. Wow.
If he even turns around that much, man. Most of the time he's like poo-poo, poo-poo, poo-poo. That just keeps moving.
You mean to tell me everyone in the movie knows who the top dog is? In all these movies, the villains know. Even the grunts, they know who the top dog is, which means is that he should be the first person they should be trying to kill. So while this dude is shooting your boys off the roof, everybody should be concentrating firepower on him. No one does that.
Because as a person who's roamed the Western Front on two separate games, Red Dead Redemption, those guns are not accurate unless you're a gunslinger and do it for a living. But the rest of the world are drunks, farmers. You know, like they're not shooting. Right?
I'm not talking about the normal people that live in the town. I'm talking about the goons. That's what they do for a living. They rob and shoot people.
Yeah, but they scare them. They're not out there shooting things from a long time. You know what I'm saying? They just give me your shit and fire up in the air. This is a robbery. They're not here sharpshooting. All right. When you come across a real gunslinger, Randall, that's who the guy is walking down the streets doing. He's a gunslinger, right? Some people sling drugs for a living. This man slings rounds out of his fucking gun, right? So there's a difference. Those goons, they get drunk and then scare people and, ooh, give me your money. This guy trades with lives. He's like, my round for your life, all right?
In this movie, the bad guys were not like that. They were all good.
Yeah, unmute here because they gunslingers, right? The movies you're talking about, he enters a town full of who cares people, right? But you're telling me, Palpatine is walking in here with his fucking elite troopers, right? Mm-hmm. That's the difference. In most westerns, that's not the case. It's just one big baddie who can kind of shoot and has scared some town into doing whatever the hell they want. Until the real man comes up, gunslinging his way to the good graces of the people who live in that town, right? To the sheriff, right? The sheriff is usually some old person who just had to make sure everyone paid their Rent.
See, that's what I mean. Like how this movie was different because all of those like similars that you're mentioning, like they weren't in this movie. Like most, like pretty much everyone who was carrying a gun could shoot like good, and then sheriff wasn't even wasn't no old guy. He was some young dude. So I don't know, man. Like I said, it was good. It was a good movie. Enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. Acting was excellent, man. Top notch. I think you would enjoy it a lot.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna check that out. I like my Western, so I'll add it to my backlog. And if everyone's out here walking around like an elite stormtrooper taking out people, I gotta watch it. That means the firefights are good.
It's just that like there's no nonsense. There's no like oh I don't know how to explain it. There's none of that monologue stuff. It was like this one part on the train where they was like holding the guy who was on the other side of the door. They was holding his son hostage because they was trying to get where he was at. So he was like, on the count of 10, open this door, or we're gonna kill your son. So he counted to 3. One of his goons. It wasn't he wasn't the goon. Weren't his goons. He was part of the squad. The person who was the leader of the gang. That's the person who they was trying to save, who was on the other side of the door. One of the guys who's in the gang said, 10 seconds or we're killing your son. He counted to 3. He was going to count to 10. He counted to 3, and one of his guys shot the kid in the leg. And he looked at him. He was like, I said 10. He's like, well, he needs to know we're serious.
Damn. I mean, that's hardcore. That's insane. Okay.
I was like, jeez, bro.
Okay. All right, now that we're done with... All right, well, I thought we were done. This is a Netflix special, right? Yeah. So it seems like we're moving on to Squid Game now. Are you ready for this?
Did Kelsey watch it?
I don't know. He's not sitting there. That's why I'm just going to go to Squid Game. I guess we'll ask him when he sits down. But I don't know for sure if he's watched it. I think Brian's the only one that's watched it to completion because he reviewed it on here. I think like 2 weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago. I have to double check the docs, but all right. The insanely well-received show, Squid Game. I finally got around to it. We got around to it. We saw it in 6-episode chunks. I'm just kidding. We saw like the first episode, I think, one day, right? And then we saw like 5 more one day. And then we finished it out the last 3 in another day. So it was broken up. It wasn't a back-to-back binge. Premise. What is the premise? A financially unstable person is living with his mother, living off of her. I don't know, no, it's just he's living with a no money kind of life. No, I don't think he had a job in the beginning either, because he lost his job. He's got a kid, but staying with his divorced mom. I
don't know if they were married. I'm going to assume and say they probably were married and they got divorced.
Yeah. Anywho, I think the show starts on the birthday of his kid, right? It shows him because the birthday present. Oh my! It's basically showing how bad of a person the main character is, right? It's just like the start of this arc is, this guy's just bad. Like he's just making selfish decisions / decisions that hurt others in some way or form, or disappoints others, and it's just horrendous until he gets. I think the guy walked up to him for an opportunity, right? He's like, "Oh, play this game with me, and you get 1,000 won or whatever. But if you lose, you owe me 1,000 won." Mm-hmm. I forgot the name of the game, but you throw like a hacky sack thing to another hacky sack thing, and if you can flip the one that was on the ground, you win. If not, you lose. He starts losing that, and then, whoa, what's going on here? His debt of 1,000 wons to this random guy starts going up. So then the guy proposed, I'll slap you instead to take off how much you owe me, or whatever the case is. So he just kept going and going. He gets slapped a bunch. He started winning some. I don't know. He won once, and he just gave him the 10,000 won or whatever the case was, and he said, we're done playing. And he's like, what the hell? That was the easiest cash ever. It's like, there's another place where you can play games and earn cash. Just here, take this card and call when you're ready, or whatever the case was. So then later on, time goes by, he calls, obviously, because all I gotta do is play games and I win money. Lit. Calls, he gets taken to a certain place. He has unbeknownst to him, because he gets like drugged, he falls asleep in a car, ends up in this place where he's in a room full of a bunch of people, and now they're going to start competing for cash. The rules are, if you finish the person to win at the end of all 6 games, I think it's like 6 games, 6 days, or whatever the case is, you win the grand prize. And as more and more games start going on and people get eliminated from the games, a big old piggy bank that's on top of the room that they're all staying in starts filling up, obviously as incentive to keep playing. Anywho, and that's the premise. I don't want to ruin a bunch of stuff here, but because it is a freshly released show this year, so I don't know if anyone has watched it or not, but that's that. Where do we go from here? Characters. This is a show, like a redemption show. There's a bunch of characters that you're introduced that are just bad people. Just either have made mistakes or chosen the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. You don't really like them at the start of this. So dude, welcome back. We're talking about Squid Game here. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but have you seen Squid Game?
No, I have it on my list, but haven't bothered.
Gotcha. All right. So 9 episodes, all of them about an hour each, besides like one's like 30 minutes. But that's that. So yeah, the characters at the beginning of the show, they're just bad people doing terrible things. You don't really root for any of them, besides like maybe 1 or 2, right? Because you're introduced to Ali and the girl early.
Okay.
Because that's what got them into the predicament they're in now, which is the financial debt that they're all in. And the games start happening. Some people get eliminated, and you're like, oh, well, better luck next time, kind of thing. And then you're like, oh, I really didn't care for this person. And that was kind of what I didn't care for. Is like, you're trying to make me like these people that I've already wrote off, and there's not much I can, like, you're not going to be, oh, good, he turned a new leaf or something. Like, I still didn't, I was more interested in how this place they were taken to operated for the most part. It did a good job of making the payoff of relationships within the games. Like, the people they met once they were transferred over, like the other players, like those relationships starts to either get closer, start getting more and more heated up because betrayal, things like that in games. And those were cool to see develop, but individual, like their own shit that they've done outside of the games, they weren't going to be redeemed in my eyes, right? But the stuff that was happening in the games, those interpersonal relationships and like the shit they were saying to each other, awesome. Yeah, I guess I was going to spoil something on accident. There's an episode where all that buildup pays off, where it's like, oh shit, like we're in the X Games now, right? And then it proceeds for the last act, the last 3 episodes, to the finale of the games, and stuff that happens post games. Like how does a winner live with all the cash, et cetera, et cetera. The stuff after the games gets dark and stuff, but then it ends with like time for revenge or something for the people. Like it ends in a very like messy way for me, where it's like, we have some closure on what happened with the games, how it ended, but then it's like the guy who wins. Spoilers, I guess I just said guy, so there we go. I guess that's
Kelsey looks disappointed.
Yeah, he's like,
I didn't hear, so I'm just gonna.
Perfect.
You said something about somebody who wins, and then spoilers, and I was like, "What?" and zoned back in.
No problem.
Because I'm listening, but like to like ask questions, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking more about what questions I want to ask versus listening to what you're actually saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm.
I like it. That's how you host. You know what I'm saying? You ask the questions, Larry King style. I'm all about it. Late night, proper late night. Not like now. Yeah, the ending was a little messy for me. It was a little like, how are you gonna continue this? Like, it ends with like, hey, we're gonna do a second season, but the way it ends is like, how are you managing to make another one? Right, with the way it ended. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Once and then throughout the show, you start figuring out like um the creation of the games and why it was created and things like that, and that wasn't satisfying for me. There are some like other stuff happening within the location, which is an island. I keep saying island. They get taken to some fucking remote island where I'm assuming no jurisdiction is. So that you find that out at the at the end of the first episode, right? So, anywho, uh, what else? I guess if you got questions, Kelsey, you can ask me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to speak about
Is
without
this like a
spoiling.
Hunger Games style, or is this something different?
It's
I know almost nothing about Squid Game other than the weird fucking videos that people post that aren't actually of Squid Game. It's just of like scenes from Squid Game with random characters or something.
yeah. That makes sense. Yes and no. It's basically Fall Guys, Kelsey, where you start off with a bunch of people and then you start playing games to eliminate people up until there's one winner.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how the Squid Game. You have there's 6 days, 6 games, and each game eliminates a good portion of the people. I think it was like 400. It starts off with like 456. Is that the guy's number?
Yeah.
There's 456 participants, and by the end of it, there's one. So
The games that they play are all child games.
yes. So that's all we can I guess say. But any other questions before there's not much I can really say besides the highlights for me was the interpersonal relationships, like seeing people like team up and try to help each other throughout the games and things like that. All up until the specific episode where all that build up pays off. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I'm like, oh, and shout out to the acting. I'm sorry, I was gonna just skip over that. The main character's able to emote from super happy to like holy shit, sad, cry, like almost Tom Holland levels, right? Where I'm like, shit, this guy's gonna hit me, right? Not like abuse me, but like it's gonna hit in the heart, right? Same with some of the other characters as well. Like, but the highlight is the main character. He definitely carried displaying a bunch of the emotions that were happening at the time. His confused look is hilarious. Every time he's just big, wide up, like what? It's great. For music, they kind of replayed the same like 2 or 3 like theme songs throughout the show, which you'll learn to like either like or fucking hate. So I mean, I ended up liking it because it's very catchy, like little tunes that they play in between like huge scenes, like in preparation of the next game and things like that. Cinematography is great. There's a bunch of vibrant colors in this, which I love because I hate when it's a drama. So let's put everything with a blue tint, and it's raining. Like there's scenes where it's like, oh, it's that, where it's like, oh, blue tint, serious people, it's raining, like the same shit we've seen 1,000 times. But throughout the show, the environments are created in a very stylistic way, vibrant walls, design, things like that. It's cool to watch. It's good to see. I don't even know what else. Dialogue's fine. I heard that there was like, you can watch it dubbed or just regular subbed in Korean. It's Korean, I think.
I want to say it's Korean.
We watched it Korean with subtitles, but I heard that the subtitles were translated correctly or something, or it's not exactly what they were saying. It doesn't matter. We watched it. We got the point across. The writing was fine, I think, because the acting was there to support it. Like again, the main dude did a phenomenal job with that, and even his supporting cast too. Like it's not just him; the rest of them all did fantastic. Yeah. Besides, the ending for me was a bit messy. Like a lot of stuff was thrown in there. I wish it just ended. I don't know why. Like it sounds like it's gonna make a second season, but I wish it just ended in a specific spot in the last episode where it's like, oh, this is a great ending, and then it kept going, and I'm like, what are we setting up here? And then it sets up the second season, and I'm like, why? Because it doesn't make sense the way that the games operate. That there's going to like, how is there another season? So that's going to be interesting. The next season, episode 1 will be interesting for me. I'm like, how did you? What are we doing? But again, the journey was fantastic. I thought it was great up until like maybe like halfway through the last episode, right? Where it's like, okay, this is a decent spot to end. There's one major plot twist at the end, which if you pay attention throughout the show, you can kind of guess. Like, I mean, Randall guessed it as well, but it's like I didn't want that either, because I kind of defeated an event that happened earlier, which is like, damn, that I wish you guys just committed, because now it's just worse in a bad way. Like, it's like, okay, well, now you took the moment away from me in an earlier episode, and now it's not a better outcome for me. That's about it for Squid Game. Like, I definitely recommend people watch it. It's definitely a very interesting take on the whole battle royale type of dynamic, because it's not like in like you mentioned Hunger Games where they get thrown and the games we just watch them the entire time. This is like, oh, prepare for game 2. People are like between games, drama's happening, things like that, and like it's just a very different pacing. I don't even.
You know what bothers me most about stuff like this?
What's up?
It's that they take a situation that is very innocent. They make it evil. That jump, like, for me, that jump messes with my mind, because it's like in your mind, you're thinking, my life is in the balance. If I screw up in any way, it can mean me dying. But the people who are instructing you like, hey, it's not a big deal. Just do as you're told. Don't worry about it. Like they try to make light of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, people are so distraught because they're hung up on the instructions, because they're thinking about, if I mess up, this is it. Meanwhile, they are telling you, like, do A, B, C, you be fine. What do you mean I'll be? It's not that simple, bro. Especially like in situations when they tell you like
game 5. I think it was game 5. The bridge.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just got to do this. What the fuck you mean I just got to do this? I'm fucked up here. It's over.
Yeah, you got to in the beginning, like, you have time to figure out, like, pick, and you like, I don't know what this is, and I don't want to pick the wrong thing, but they're like telling you, you have 30 seconds. They try to tell you in a pleasant way. Like,
it's basically if Chick-fil-A owned a death house. Exactly. Right? Like, that's...
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. Yes, please continue. Just go ahead and press it. Press it. Press it. Press it.
Sounds pretty awesome to me. Sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, it's
either advance on the next round, or you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Wow.
And there's characters that have that mentality, which you'll see like different walks of life come in and try to. There's a religious person, obviously, that's like, oh my God, I need, the Lord needs to walk whatever. Then you have the cutthroat ones that uses other people as bait and things like all the gamers that you've ever seen in your life are in here in real life, right? The ones that try to play the Paragon points and try to do it correctly. Sometimes that works. There's some games where it costs them the elimination, right? And then you have the people who are just jackasses from the beginning who make it far because of that. And then when it's
Oh my
We
God.
know Randall during the extra live stream. We saw what you turn into when people grab you in Fall Guys. That man was livid.
Oh,
I missed this. I'm disappointed.
Near the last
I think
couple
the thing-
hours of Extra Life, we played Fall Guys. Brian had to stop playing because he was so fucking mad, and then Randall was just losing it because people kept grabbing him.
I think the thing that really drove me over the edge was I think it's the one with the pink stuff. You start and you got to go up the obstacle course, and it keeps raising.
Yeah, you're talking about Fall Guys. Okay, I think you're talking about
Yeah. I'm talking about Fall Guys.
yeah.
And I don't like to call people names, but this idiot was the like turning. It's like a cylinder, and you got to run across it because it's turning. But it wasn't turning, but it can turn. Like you can slip off of it, and that's the only way to the next platform. He's standing there and not moving. Like you should have an option to run and drop kick somebody out the way.
Yeah, because in that game you just bounce. You'll hit them and maybe shove them a little bit, but then your body goes like away, and then you'll fall off.
Yeah.
It's difficult for that type of game to like sync all that positioning, and especially since a lot of it's ragdoll. Oof.
And I feel like the developers have to know that there are people out there doing stuff like that. That they should come up with some sort of mechanic that allows you to at least defend yourself in some sort of way. Because it's like, as it stands, people who are actually trying to genuinely win are at a disadvantage. Because you got people who either block the only way that like to advance, or you got people who just grab you for no reason.
That's
part of the game.
yeah, like it.
No, it's not.
It is.
You're supposed to be trying to get through the obstacle. That's what you're supposed to be trying to do.
No, that is the overall goal of the game. But part of the game is blocking people and pulling on them and doing it. Literally is part of the game because it may not be the goal of every round, but it is in the game for a reason, and they use it.
Kelsey, I could see if they were doing that to win. I'm talking about this dude is not trying to win. He's just trying to kill people.
Yeah.
So on the level that I'm talking about specifically, you go up the level. You have to go up the level in a timely fashion because
I know which I played it. I know which one you're talking about.
he wasn't Kelsey. He wasn't moving. He was just standing there.
Yeah. Because his
Must
version
have
of
killed
winning,
like 5 people.
his version of winning is not actually winning the race. His version of winning is causing as much destruction as possible, which is what the game is about. Like it's an obstacle course, and other opponents are part of the obstacle course. Whether they're trying to actually win or just trying to frustrate you, it is part of the obstacle course.
Get a defensive move.
Yeah, I agree with the defensive move because I have gotten fucked over because of it. But yeah, so yeah, Squid Game. It doesn't get you that salty like in Fall Guys. Squid Game has a decent balance of.
Oh, it does.
Oh, that's true. There is some scenes where you're like, is this fucking happening right now? But yeah, I'm gonna stick with. I do recommend it. I think Brian ended up with that outcome too, right? I don't remember if he ended up recommending it. I definitely recommend it. Be wary of the ending. For me, it was like it got through the ending, but I wouldn't say it stuck it, right?
Crash and burn.
Oh damn, I'm not saying it crash and burn. I was just like, okay,
Ending?
yeah, I would say it didn't stick. Like it got through it. Like it wasn't like oh, holy shit, it was bad. It was a bit messy for me. So if it's a crash and burn for you, do you recommend people watch it?
Huh?
Do you recommend people watch it? I mean, you went through. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, I recommend the entire series, but ending sucks. Wasn't done well, like you said. It was the ending wasn't the type of ending where it was like, man, they should have did a different ending. It was like type of ending where it's like it overstayed its welcome. It should have just ended at a certain point, and then it would have been perfect. Instead, they, I guess, like Anthony said, they tried to set up second season if they're doing a second season. So they have all this other extra stuff that just doesn't make any sense.
We are on a Netflix like day, right?
Binge.
Yeah, we're on a Netflix cast. This is the Netflix cast. Castflix. We'll think of a better name. All right. Where do we go from here? Well, Randall's done with all his stuff. Kelsey. What is PCU? Because I looked this up. I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
So it is an older movie.
Yeah,
almost 20 years old.
94.
But I think it's college in like the 80s,
Okay.
maybe early 90s. So it's about this high schooler that is trying to decide where he wants to go, and he because you used to, I mean, I think you still do. I don't know very many people that actually go and visit campuses anymore, but a lot of it was you would go and visit the campus and make sure this is where you want to go, and then you would apply, and that kind of thing. And they call him pre-fresh because he's not a freshman, he's a high school student. And he gets paired up. He goes there for the weekend, and the admission department pairs him up with this guy named Draws, who's played by Jeremy Piven, who is hilarious. And Jeremy Piven, Draws is a 7-year student and a party animal who lives in the Pit, and that's the name of their house. And it's the most offensive house on campus. They're like, just super rude, throwing parties, self-absorbed, that kind of thing.
Okay. I see Jon Favreau's in this too.
Yeah, he plays kind of a stoner idiot in this, and he doesn't have like a big part, but he does some funny stuff.
Okay.
There's also what's his name? One of the Busey guys.
There's more than one?
Yeah. Jake Busey. Busey?
Oh my god, I didn't know Busey had a brother.
Yeah. So, he's from Starship Troopers is where I know him from. But he plays like the head stoner guy in the in here.
Okay.
So it starts off him like the kid coming in, he's trying to decide where he's gonna go, shows her to this place, and these girls and guys are just kind of rocking out and on like guitar, drums, and bass and whatever else, and he's like trying to get their attention, and then some other girl comes in and he's like, I'm looking for so and so, and she's like, oh, you mean Draws? And she takes him to him, and he's just this he's like the senior dev on your team, it's just like, whatever, man, like, just get it done, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
just
leave me
chill
alone.
out. Just hey, this is what you got to do. Get it to me when you can.
Yeah,
I'm just chilling here, right? Like,
yeah, he's just kind of just going with it. He's just here to have fun and party and just kind of do what he needs to do. And he's gonna show him around campus. Well, showing him around campus, he ends up they go to like some vegan protest thing and then start throwing meat at the protesters.
oh,
And then the pre-fresh gets pinned for it, and so they start chasing him. Well, then he starts running all over campus because the guys left him, and he doesn't know where to go or how to get back to the pit. He walks into a computer room, like a lab with like the old, Windows NT computers set up with the massive white, or well, I guess these are really small at the time, but the miniature, CRTs, and they're all in there writing their thesis papers, and he like kicks a cord and shuts everything down.
Oh my god.
with one cord? What the hell?
Like causes a surge and all of the computers go down. So now they're chasing him. And then it's one thing after the other where just people are just coming after him because he keeps fucking up. He keeps, doing stuff that pisses everybody off.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like another part of the story where the pit is they're trying to shut down the pit, and the dean is played by Mallory Archer. I can't think of her name
Oh,
off the top of my head for whatever reason. Um,
what is her name?
oh,
Oh my god, I'm blanking. Let me look, see if I can find her on here. Jessica Walter.
Jessica Walter, yeah. And then David Spade's also in this, and he plays the like really preppy, rich kid that's trying to get his way, and thinks that he's just better than everybody, but still
Okay.
kind of a smart ass about everything.
Okay.
It's definitely a great, if you have some free time and you just want to have some fun, watch this movie. It's really funny. Jeremy Piven's awesome. The cast is great. It's just a fun time. It's even better if you're on cloud nine or drunk or something.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a great watch at least once.
Okay. PCU. Yeah, I definitely haven't heard this. And the thumbnail that's showing up on IMDb, it's just like sloshed people, right? Like it's this guy looks like he is seeing himself in the future later on. Like this guy is lit. Cool. Okay. That works.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. We were watching, when we were on the binge of bad movies and, and classics and that kind of stuff. And he was like, he said something about, it was because in one of the rush hours, Jeremy Piven plays a very gay,
Salesperson
clerk.
at the fashion store. I think it's 2.
Oh yeah.
2, yeah, and 2. And like talks up both of the guys and talks about like eating them up and all this
Yep.
other stuff. And he's just absolutely hilarious. And then Nick mentioned PCU, and I was like, I've never seen that. He's like, oh my god, we got to watch this afterwards. And so, we ended up watching this.
Nice. All right. I mean, we can go on back to back for you here. Blood and Bone. That was probably during your fight movies thing, huh?
Yeah. So this is another like really bad version of MMA fighting and just street fighting in general.
Okay.
An ex-con, he gets out of prison and is trying to find his way, gets into underground street fighting, trying to make some money, and you later find out that it's because he's trying to find somebody. And he comes in. It's Michael Jai White. He at the very beginning of the movie, he just beats the shit out of Kimbo Slice and a bunch of other people in jail.
Oh, damn.
And then it just escalates from there. It's nothing amazing, but it's one of those that's like it's amazingly shitty.
Okay.
Kind of like the Never Back Down series. Like the writing for the dialogue and everything is just terrible. The fights are very choreographed, but it's a great time. Like if you want something fun to watch, just be like see people get their ass kicked. It's definitely a great movie.
Okay.
It's also only an hour and a half. Most of the Never Back Down movies, I think, were also only about an hour and a half.
So it's quick. You get in there, get some ass kicking, bounce out. Okay.
And Michael Jai White, he wrote and directed a bunch of these. I don't know if he did. It doesn't look like he did this one.
No.
But I like him as an actor, but some of the dialogue and things that he writes into his scripts is just it's just hilarious.
You laugh at him, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like that. Dialogue's really difficult to write. I guess just writing in general, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that I could do any better, but like you listen, you hear it said out loud, and you're like, how did they not screen some of this beforehand and like go, maybe we should get somebody who knows what they're doing to do this.
Yeah. Who wrote this? Michael Andrews. What else has he wrote? Or my internet can just crap itself. He's wrote 4 movies in total and produced 2. So Blood and Bone, The Legend of 420. It's a documentary. Obsession and Dunsmore. Obsession's a TV show? Or... I know it's another movie. That guy looks familiar. Where's I seen him?
Con Pfeiffer.
Oh. 8 Mile, Dawn of the Dead. Okay, that's probably where I've seen him then. Oh, this man's on there. All right. So it looks like a good time. Like, it's just, hey, have fun, beat 'em up action. You said you do recommend it for that?
Oh yeah, and it's got Dante Brasco Basco as the like hype man, kind of his agent for this.
Okay.
And if you don't know who that is, it's Rufio from Hook, and I love his character. Him in general, he always plays kind of the same character, and it's just awesome.
Because he's so good at it. So
Yeah.
nice. Cool. Killing these. I have two things. I might as well start with one of mine. Brian probably would have been able to join us on this one, but An Evening with Silk Sonic. It's an album released with Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. You might have heard one of their tracks a while back. With the first one was "Leave the Door Open." I'm gonna leave the door open. It's like an R&B song. Okay, Kelsey, for fuck's sake. Well, I gotta make a list for all the games, movies, and stuff that we're gonna be doing the bracket fights with. That way, if you guys want to listen to, watch, play, whatever, y'all can be informed when it's time to be like, hey, this song or this song, not just like, oh well, and pick a random one.
I mean, most of the live stations I listen to are,
like pop,
older
right?
older hip hop and R&B and things. And then we found a station that plays like 90s everything, and I just don't have a reason to listen to anything else.
That's fair. I see. I mean, that's normal. Some people just usually stick with the older stuff, which is fair. All right. What am I talking about? Silk Sonic. I didn't know it was coming out last week, and it did, because I've heard that first single, Leave the Door Open. This only has like 9 tracks. So yeah, let me not lie to everyone here, right? Let me just go and open that up. 9 tracks. Simple 30-minute album here. These two nailed the aesthetic, period. This sounds like in 70s, 80s R&B / funk. These guys sat in a room together, and I don't know. If you told me they recorded all this in one session, I'd believe you. The entire album flows well. It sounds great. There's good like R&B shit on there. Oh, maybe Randall's mic because I'm hearing myself. All right. Can you still hear? Well, I guess Randall's not really speaking right now, so I had to mute that real quick. I got to set it up differently later, but anyway. What was I talking about? The music. Yes. From R&B songs like Leave the Door Open, there's one where he's talking about like the ungrateful woman he had, which is Smoke Out the Window. All performed fantastically. Bruno Mars with the highest of fucking notes that he's killing it. Anderson .Paak with his like sexy graspy voice at times, and then he'll also sing as well. The instrumentals all are awesome. Like this is a great 9-track package. Like these guys destroyed it. It's not like out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, I'm listening to this now, right? Because I heard the like 1 or 2 singles, and then the whole album came out, and I'm like, everything's consistent. So the first 2 tracks you hear on the album, that's the vibes all the way down to 9. You can listen to the whole album, and you'll be like, oh shit, I'm already done. 30 minutes fly by. I don't have anything else besides. I don't have any other technical stuff. Brian will probably get into the technical stuff when he comes back next week. Dope. Listen to this album. It's fun. Most of it's clean. Like it's not, because again, it's like super like inspired, or like it has that aesthetic of older like songs. And I mean, we started cursing more and more as time went on those older songs. It's not, as pronounced as before. So there's some explicit tracks, but it's not over the top. Like you're not listening to Game or Game, right? So it's definitely a fantastic time. The whole album. I played it last Friday when I was working. gave that a second run through immediately. I'm like, I gotta listen to this again. Let me see if there's anything on here I can. Easy. Leave the Door Open, of course. Awesome track. After Last Night, crazy freaking R&B song. Like, if you're not making babies to that, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, as soon as you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh, all right, it's time to make babies. That's After Last Night. Smoking Out the Window is like the opposite of that. It's like complaining about the bad relationship he's in, but it's done all tastefully. It's great. Put On a Smile, good. 777, awesome track as well. Skate was all right. That was another single that came out, and that was again, all of this. You'll end up with each track going, oh, that's pretty good. There was nothing on here that I'm like, I have to skip this because it's just destroying my ears. All of it, you can listen through it. It sounds great, mixed well. From what I heard, all of them solid tracks, right? Oh, I'm not signed in. I'm like, why isn't the hearts coming up? I heard like 4 or 5 of these that I'm like, I have to just keep listening to these for my 2021. Yeah, these will definitely be talked. It's gonna be in the ringer for our top 10 this year for me. These guys killed it. If they're gonna join and make their own band called Silk Sonic like this, I'm all for it. Because these guys nailed the aesthetic, period. Even if they're music videos that you've seen them, like, and looks like it's all 70s and stuff, these guys are in it. These guys are great.
So you're saying it was terrible? We shouldn't listen
horrendous. To it. Don't listen to this, right? Like, you'll lose IQ as you listen to it. So.
What, did you heart all the songs, or was there some?
There was like maybe 2 or 3 that I didn't heart.
But you didn't skip them.
I didn't skip them, and when I listened to the album again, I let them play because it was everything. These guys literally went in there with an agenda. We're gonna make this type of album or this type of era of music, and they nailed it. These guys are great. This pair is great. Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars are killing it. So God bless them. I hope they make another project together because this was awesome.
And Bruno Mars has just been killing it.
Yes, with
since
all the
he came
stuff.
around.
Yes,
he also has like written and produced some of the most amazing songs. Like CeeLo Green's "Yeah, Fuck You" was written by him.
I believe it. I mean, he has the formula for pop, and definitely come listen to this. It's fucking awesome. And that's me gushing over the album here. I'm sure Brian will have a more technical, not gushing over it next week. Not Randall. I'm so sorry, Kelsey.
What's up? Are we fighting again?
Yeah, tell me what you're fighting about. Whoops.
So fighting is it's more of like a serious, like, I guess, realistic version of some of these, street fighting movies. Channing Tatum is just a New Yorker who, was a wrestler in high school and is selling counterfeit stuff in the streets, trying to make some money.
Okay.
And then some guy who, is working who thinks he owns that corner, has one of his guys go and try and rough him up, and then the dude gets his ass kicked, right? But they steal a bunch of his money that he made and then went off. Later he runs into him, and the guy is Terrence Howard. And he's the way he plays his character is very interesting. It's like he's kind of a hard ass but very timid type, but not like really afraid of anything. He starts getting fights for Channing Tatum's character in the underground through this, group of behind the scene mob boss guys, that he knows. He just, like any movie, works his way up the chain to the champ, and it's the way the story goes.
Yeah, 1v1 me, boy. And then
and then the guy, the champ, so to speak, is actually a friend of, not really a friend, but somebody he knows from his childhood that was a wrestler on his dad's team. And they had a falling out, and he and his dad had a falling out, and a lot of that comes up in this and kind of fuels the rage to the fire. So, yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. So,
it's worth at least if you like fighting movies. It's definitely worth at least one watch. I don't think it wasn't the greatest for me, but it's definitely more of a serious movie with like kind of a realistic situation, I guess,
okay.
versus like Blood and Bone and Never Back Down and that kind of stuff, where it's just kind of whatever, that they just it's staged to be staged.
That makes sense. So I mean, it has a bunch of like tropes of the up and coming fighter kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's fair. I mean, there's been so many boxing movies, right, or fighting movies, so you kind of see the same kind of arc over and over.
you get Southpaw and
Yeah,
Warrior and
fighter.
Fighter. But it follows a little bit more. It tracks a little bit more with those than it does. Like it tracks a little bit more with like Warrior than it does Never Back Down or
Right.
Blood and Bone. So
I can see that. Okay. Easy peasy. And I'll end this. I'll bring it all home, gentlemen, with Mary and the Witch's Flower. Mary and the Witch's. Yeah, animation.
Okay. It is an animated movie. Is it done by Ghibli?
The art style is heavily inspired by Ghibli, but it's actually done by a different studio called Studio Pano?
Is this the one that does Ponyo? Or I thought Ponyo was Studio Ghibli. It is.
Correct.
Never mind.
Correct. But this one's called something like I can't read Japanese names and pronounce it correctly, so it's probably just Pano or something. I don't know. But that's what the studio's called. Pono, I think.
Okay.
This is a story of a little girl who comes across basically a very magical flower, right? That grants her, it's called the Fly by Night flower, which grants her witch powers by night, right? And she finds a broom that's susceptible, thank you, to that. And the fucking thing starts flying around and takes her to a school where witches learn how to do things. I forgot what it was called. Endor School? Or maybe it's just Star Wars just coming in my head. I thought it was called Endo or something like that, or Ender School. Let me look it up. No, Randall looked at me like I'm crazy, but I know I'm not crazy.
I don't remember
right?
it.
And the Witch's Flower Magic School, right? Endor College. Thank you. All right? Officially said, right? I'm not crazy. I might still be crazy, but it's Endor College. Or it's like Hogwarts for witches. And that's kind of the premise. Like, we find out the whole point is she gets to this school, but then the school finds out that the flower still exists, so they go, hey, what? Go get me that flower, young girl. And then the whole, basically what the flower does and what it is going to be used for under their power or under their use, which I don't want to spoil any of that. But it's a whimsical tale about this girl who gets thrown into the situation with magic powers and stuff. And it's kind of all I'm going to say about the storyline. The super highlight for me is the creativity in this fucking in this. Because there's some people who does magic and it's like, oh, let's make it like, oh, just fire effects and sparks and shit. Doctor Strange with your fucking particle effects. You use the entire movie and the kaleidoscope thing. We get it. Then you watch things like this in animation and you're like, this is creativity, right? You see weird shit happen because of magic. Like, it's animated very well, obviously. Like you mentioned, the second you saw it, you thought Studio Ghibli. It's almost at that caliber of animation in this. Vibrant backdrops. The characters are all designed very super noticeable. Like, you'd be like, oh, that's this character, this character. Everyone looks unique, besides some of like the random people who was walking in the school. But like all the characters that are supporting characters or main characters, they have their own silhouettes. Like, if they were all literally just hidden characters, you know who's who by what they're wearing, things like that. It's just an awesome watch. It's a short, like, I guess not short, an hour 43 minutes, but it goes by really quickly. The beginning part of getting to know the little girl goes by quick, and then you're introduced into the or is it the school? Then the bad parts of the school starts to show up, and then you realize, oh, what's their actual goal? And then the climax hits, and it's over. Like, it happens. A lot of his stuff happens super quickly, but the pacing's quick. Animation's awesome. I don't know. I saw it dubbed. I'm sorry, not dubbed. Subbed. So I don't know about if there is an English dub, but the acting was great in subbed. The voices portrayed the emotions of the scene. Music was also really cool. Whimsical music, just like, again, if these guys aren't like a sub company of Studio Ghibli, they just should be, right? Like, it's very high caliber stuff here, right? High caliber, Randall. We're not getting 9mm. We're getting 50 cal rounds into this, right? High caliber. Like, your body deletes. Anywho. Yeah, it's just great to see some of the stuff animation in motion. Like, it's usually what drives me or directs me to some of this stuff. I love Studio Ghibli's films. These guys did a really good job in comparison to those. And that's about it. I definitely recommend watching it especially if you're a fan of like Japanese anime films like Studio Ghibli or Your Name, or I'm missing one. Was it 5 centimeters a second? I think it was the other one.
5 centimeters per second.
Yeah, this
I
is.
don't remember if that's Studio Ghibli though.
It's not, but I mean, like, those are like high caliber Japanese animation, like movies, like like Japanese anime movies. So, definitely. What's up, man? You laughed. Just look at me like we didn't hear that.
Because you said it twice.
Because sometimes you got to do it twice, Randall. What did Zombieland teach us?
The double tap.
Double tap?
Yes. So we make sure that we double tap with information. That's how we confirm information. Right? Copy that. Right? Anywho. Yeah, Marrying the Witches.
Is there another one? Or is it over?
Of what?
Another Zombieland coming out.
They haven't announced the third one that I know of. I mean, I was scared about the second one, but the second one ended up being a good time too. So if they do get the same people back, I'm down to see the third one. More of the same, I guess. Because the second one was, for me, that. It was like more of the same. Which I was completely okay with. What you laughing at, Randall?
Girl.
Yeah, I knew it. She was a good addition to the crew.
Oh my gosh, she had a nut allergy. He was going to body her in the woods. Oh my goodness. And then she just shows up later on, driving the van. Like nothing happened.
Because nothing did happen, Randall.
The way Woody Harrelson's character would have reacted, I feel like that would have been you if, like, you asked me to go shoot somebody out in the woods and then I let her go. I just fired the gun. And then later on, we're driving down the road and you're like, why is this person still alive, Randall? How is she driving the vehicle if you said you shot her?
That would lead me to shoot Randall afterwards. Because he's obviously not dependable in the group, right? If I tell him to go shoot someone, he should be shooting someone. Not, whoops, I let her go accidentally by firing in the air. Randall, you're next if that happens, right? Like, if you see that happen, you should start running immediately.
Yeah, but it was a nut allergy.
Randall, you're gonna have.
So she didn't actually get bitten.
Randall, you're gonna get a dead allergy, right? Like, the round that I'm firing at you is gonna be what you're allergic to.
That means I made a good call, man.
No, Randall.
Instead of it being 3 of us, now it's 4. It's 4 of us because Little Rock went her own way.
You're not understanding
with the weed guy.
You're not understanding. You made a scenario where I'm leader of some sort, right?
He's in control, Randall.
Yeah. So, and if you
I never said he was in control.
So
I just said that he told me to go shoot somebody, or I was supposed to go shoot somebody, and then I came back, and I don't feel like I would have came back and said, "Yeah, I took care of it." I probably just been like tried to gloss over it, like, let's just go.
I feel like he's one of those that would like have shot her and grazed the arm, and be like, "Did you do it? Yeah, I shot her." But not, and that's it. That's all he would say. He wouldn't be like, yeah, she's dead. No, it's yeah, I shot her.
That's the problem, Kelsey. Because I'll know right away. If I send him to go shoot someone and he comes back just completely fine, not sobbing uncontrollably, I know he's a fucking liar.
Oh,
He didn't shoot anyone, right? That would bother him to his core if he had to shoot someone. So if he just came back smiling, hey, we're good to go. That's a fucking variant, right? Like I'm shooting him on sight.
That's a variant.
Zombieland's great. I gotta rewatch that.
I don't know that I've ever seen the second one.
I think you'll have a good time with it, man. The second one's they introduced like a really like California Bay character that just does not mesh well with the current crew, and they play on that, and it's really funny. That you'll definitely enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, go watch the second one. And that's it on our end here, right? We went through a lot of Netflix stuff, right? I'm just gonna call this one not sponsored by Netflix. I think the majority of our reviews today were Netflix. Anywho,
I think they were.
Yeah, it was Squid Game, Arcane, and Red Notice, and The Harder They Fall, which is the Western. So it's like 4 things in one go.
Because Netflix is doing big things, man.
Yeah, they're allocating their fucking money into their company by making more good things. Anyway, I didn't have any news, but we do have some high level fucking releases this week. So what happened, Kelsey? Looks like you're gonna say something.
I got some news if you haven't heard. I know that you haven't really been following New World much.
I haven't. What's going on?
So they've just been having a shit time with a lot of their economy and things. They have shut off trading multiple times for duping and like people being able to get gold. Like there was one where what was it? There was one where you could put stuff up onto the auction house and then cancel it, and it would give you the money that you said that you were trying to sell it for, right? There was one where they figured out a whole bunch of different ways to dupe items. One of the latest one though is that they figured out how to dupe furniture like trophies, and trophies are something that you put into the houses that you can buy to give you buffs and things for the area that you're in. And doing that, obviously, like instead of having to farm the mats, you just dupe the trophy and you can give it to all your guild mates, your company mates, and they can just put it in their house and then have the buffs.
That is insane. Let me tell you why that's insane. Because this is a server-based MMO, correct?
Yes.
So how are they duping when anything action should be going through the server first?
Right. And so they have so apparently there was an article today that said they have completely turned off all economy for the game right now. You cannot trade, you cannot buy things, you cannot do anything between players for gold or items. Until they can address this. And this isn't the first time that they've done it. Like they shut down the auction house for a while too, or the trading post. It's not really an auction house. And apparently the people that found this exploit tried to privately through back channels be like, hey guys, we found this. You should fix this. And then they didn't do anything. And so finally they went public with it, and everybody started abusing it because now that everybody knows about it, they're going to abuse it. And it's the only way to get them to actually do stuff. And so Amazon is shutting down everything. And they're just, it just seems like every week there's something new that they're fucking up with the game.
But that's still blowing my mind. How is Amazon's a server they should know any action should be validated or sanitized at their end. How are you duping in an MMO that's server based, right?
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was great when I first played it, but they have dropped the ball on a lot of shit with this, and it's super disappointing. You know, like I feel like they had a lot of great ideas that they only went halfway through in, and I found out recently that it was going to be strictly a PvP based game, and then people were like, "That's boring. That's gonna suck." And so then they like flipped everything over and started making the PvE version of it, you know, and then with PvP content. And that's why it is that the like PvE stuff is just fucking terrible, like the questing system.
Right.
Um, and then the PvP is just kind of halfway thought out. Like there was a thing in it where every time you crouched, you would heal. Yeah, I want you to think about that. Like in the middle of just like fighting, you just heal. You know, there were people
Whoa,
that
whoa, whoa, whoa!
were
Is that like a talent like that? A build? Or is that like
no,
a like
that's
bug?
a glitch.
Okay, I thought you're saying like that's a thing people can do in the like normally.
No, it's a glitch. You know, there's people that were abusing like armor, because there's light, medium, and heavy armor, just like there is in uh like Dark Souls. You
Correct.
know, they have like encumbrance and um you know, the heavier the armor you wear, the slower you have with certain things, or you use more stamina, but you take less damage. And there was apparently a glitch that people were abusing during PvP where tanks could just literally not die because they had infinite armor.
Oh my!
So I don't know what happened. I feel like they released the game and then they spent too much time trying to do new things and not fix old things, and that it was kind of just a beta that was released and not actually,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a full-fledged game.
They didn't bother stabilizing anything. They're like, yeah, we can add it to the bench. The bench is like this fucking wooden crate that's bending in on itself, and it's like, yeah, we can add more stuff. And I guess that's how we got to where we're at now. Well, the game is just barely. That's wild. It's still like that baffles me. How are you duping and like did WoW ever have that
Uh
back in the day? Was there like any like duping glitches like this? That's so you saying all you have to do is post something and cancel it and you get your money back? Duping it? Like how is
yeah,
that? That's a basic action that everyone does. Like if you would have said, "Oh, equip this, backflip 6 times, and make sure your mount lands sideways," and now you have a duped item, I get it. But this is a normal action you can do. You're laughing. I can't wait for this.
So, speaking of sanitizing, their chat box is HTML based, and somebody found out that they could send HTML input through the chat box.
You're fucking. You're messing with me,
I will
right?
I will find you. I don't remember exactly like how bad it was or what exactly happened, but I will find you the article so that you and I can talk about it and read it after the podcast. Like they there was like an update and they didn't do something and it allowed people to like start just posting all sorts of shit with HTML and SQL code, and they weren't sanitizing the strings and making sure that it wasn't stuff that could be, you know, like, oh,
Executable.
drop table players, you know,
Yeah.
type thing. Like I don't think anybody did that or could do that, but that style of thing. Um
Oh my god, you're a server company, right? Like
well, okay.
Amazon Games.
So
Yeah, I
the
get it. Amazon Games
the
is not
company is a
Amazon.
third-party company that got acquired by Amazon, and Amazon like was like, "Okay, go do your thing." And I don't think that they've gotten as much support from Amazon as what a lot of people were thinking they were going to after being acquired by Amazon, because their server situation was fucking horrendous the first, you know,
Week or
week or
two.
so. You know, people were finding ways to stay in game, so that they didn't have to, because like if you left the computer for 20 minutes to go do something and you came back, it was 11 hours before you could get back into the game,
Fuck
you
that.
know. And so people were just like literally staying in the game 24/7 so that they didn't have to log out. And I feel like I, I I feel like the company was forced to release something that wasn't ready, and they are not big enough to support this, and now all the shit's hitting the fan.
That sounds about right. I can see that being a possibility. Like Amazon was like, no, we're burning too much money developing this, so just release it.
I guess.
I mean, Amazon low on funds. I can see that. So they were probably like, fuck, we're running out of money, so let's
I
Right.
mean, look at all the major companies. EA, how many games have they just been like, no, get it out the door, and everybody's like, no, it's
Ye-
not. It's not ready. I don't care. You're losing us money. Like that. That's how games are made. You spend money to make money.
Yeah. They're like, nah, we'll get some sort of investment here and then release DLC later. And then it flops and no one cares and no one buys anything. So sorry, I got something in my throat. Damn, that sucks. I didn't know that was happening. So I mean, God bless you. New World people look, dude. So what do you do for cash? Do you select just NPCs now instead of?
You can't sell anything to NPCs.
So
The
they
only thing you can do is break down the items for a small amount of like a very 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 small amount. We're talking like
like
point
0.2 per
0.6.
7% of
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Bro, that game died then. Who's gonna keep playing?
Like I'm surprised that people. Honestly, I'm surprised that people still play because like there's there's no middle ground for things. Like in WoW, there's like several tiers of, you know, and granted they've had a lot longer to like do this, but even back in like Burning Crusade, or even in the beginning, like they had, all of the armor crafting and that kind of stuff. You had tiers that you could work up through, and yes, it like took longer and longer to grind through some of them. But this one, it's like you build the level 1 stuff for all 200 levels of whatever it is that you're doing because it's just cheaper and easier to get the materials.
Oh.
And so you end up, making 36,000 of whatever version that you're trying to do to get up through the levels, but it takes fucking forever. And
Mhm.
getting up to like the first milestone, which is, usually 50 to 100, is just a fucking grind. And then getting up to, so like 50 for crafting is like the grind, and then 150 is the next tier, and then 200 is the final one where you can create anything.
Right.
But getting from 50 to 150 is like,
A
going from
nightmare.
0 to 50 is you create like maybe 1,000 of this object, right? And
That's
then going from
still a lot though.
and you need like 10 or 15,000 of a couple of different mats to go from 50 to 150. You need 300,000 of each of the mats. Okay, like, and some of the mats just aren't like, you're like skinning's easy. You can skin anything and get the mats, and there's tons of places that just have a
Bunch
lot
of
of spawns that
wildlife
you can
and
just sit
stuff.
there and kill them, whatever. Mining, like when you need 300,000 iron and you're only getting like
2.
15
Oh, okay. That's not.
per node, but you have to like think that you're not just, it's I mean they're all specific, they spawn in specific places, and so people know all the routes or can look them up. And if you're fighting against 5 other people, you're in an hour you're getting like maybe a couple of hundred, and
Oh,
you need
because those aren't
300,000.
instants. That's all real world, right?
Yes.
Fuck that. So I'm fighting. So it's like fucking getting PS5s all over again. You're just
Yes.
trying to run all over the place, be the first one there. Nah,
You know,
that's beyond stressful.
and like they should have just left it as a strict PvP game with like crafting and things, and told everybody else to fuck off. Like if you don't want to play if you don't want to play PvP, don't buy the game. Like it would have been way better had they focused completely on PvP and had it been, solely uh centered around doing PvP with crafting and things on the side, and then having other PvE content like dungeons and raids and that kind of stuff as like a side thing. Like maybe the raids, maybe you'd have like where you raid towns as like an instance type thing, because they have dungeon instances. They could do something like that where you like go and try and take a town or something as part of that. But they don't even have raids per se. Like everybody's in a group, but you can't, it's like a whole bunch of groups in sort of a big group, not like, oh, it's just one big group.
Gotcha. So it's like a bunch of squads in one team,
Yeah.
but it's not. They're not. Okay.
And you can't like join a raid. You can't join a raid.
Midway through
What
or
do you
something.
call it? Uh, like in World of Warcraft, you can join a raid and like see everybody's health and that kind of stuff. There and talk to the whole raid. You can't do that just normally without being in some sort of special event like a PvP war or um whatever the other thing is. I forget what the other
so
invasion.
you only get whoever's in your squad or party at the time,
Yeah.
not the entire. Okay, the whole raid
So
party. That's
so a
whack.
lot of the things that they want you to do is they want you to like group up to go do, you know, these big. They're called portals, right? And they're literally invasion portals where they corrupt the area around it. They spawn all this shit, and you have to go and kill things and then do some stuff to get rid of it. And normally it says like, oh, it suggests a 5-man squad, but it's like people do it in massive groups to just clear it faster. Plus, everybody gets the reward as long as they get some hits in. Um, and the only thing you like, if you have your entire company that's like, hey, we're gonna go do this, it's literally just, oh, well, there's 17 of us, so now we have three 5-man squads and one 2-man squad.
2-man. Oh no. So the two that has no idea what the rest are doing.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, even outside the 5, you don't have any idea without being like in some sort of comms. And being in comms with, 40 people is even 10 people is
it's not manageable, bro. It's just not. Especially, but can you even type? Can you do like a type / raid party or / platoon or something or company?
Only in you can do company stuff if you're all in the same company, and the only time that you have like a raid per se is if it's during an invasion, or a PvP war.
That's insane. I mean, that's maybe they'll switch to subscription based, and hopefully they have. I don't even know if they're getting funding to fix all this extra stuff.
I mean, they have a whole bunch of microtransactions in the game that you can purchase, but I'm pretty sure it's like worse than GGG with how much it costs.
Oh, really? Oh,
So,
man. I hope it does turn around because I mean we need more MMOs competing against each other.
well, the Lost Ark is supposed to be coming out soon, and then Ashes of Creation, and
that's that big one that
Ashes
people were talking about. I think I've heard buzz about that.
So Ashes of Creation already has a leg up on New World because they have fucking mounts, so that you can actually like travel to places.
Well, New World's probably the people working on New World right now are probably feeling it. When is Ashes of Creation supposed to be coming out?
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be next year, but I don't think they have like
an actual date set.
Yeah. The fun part is I'm pretty sure it says that the initial release date for Ashes of Creation was September of 2019. Even though it's still like an alpha.
I'm sure it got pushed back. I mean, the quarantine didn't help, I'm assuming, and maybe they also played New World and they're like, okay, we can't mess up. We got to fix this if we have it. If we haven't, sorry. Is it going to be another pay once kind of thing, or is it going to be subscription based? Do you know?
I don't know.
So I wonder if they're going to go the New World route or just go with like Final Fantasy and WoW. I mean, those guys are still the reigning champs at this point.
I don't know. I feel like paid-based subscriptions are a thing of the past. Like, I think the only reason that WoW still has it is because they have the hardcore fans that have been around since like the beginning that are still enjoying the game and playing. And like I have a whole bunch of friends that have played, since vanilla that are just like, I'm not paying for that shit anymore.
That's fair. Especially when you're trying to get like cost and value. Like if they're gamers who like to play other stuff, like the amount it costs to do just WoW, you can get Game Pass. You can get EA Pro or Ubisoft Connect that gives you a bunch of other games to just play and do whatever. So it's, I don't know if it's the values there, but it's whatevs.
Like Game Pass and everything, like all the shared shit that's been going on, there's just no reason to pay for subscription-based games anymore. Like there's too many things out there that are free that are either just as good or not like close enough that'll scratch the itch. So unless you're like a hardcore fan of somebody who like loves the WoW lore and everything like that, I mean, why are you paying for this?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, especially since they charge extra for the expansions anyway, right? Or do you just get access?
Yeah, no, you have to buy the expansion
on top of the monthly sub. Damn, that's wild. All right.
Like it'd be one thing if they were like, oh, we're releasing this content, for free because you have a subscription. Here you go. Like Grinding Gear Games, PoE does free content every 3 months. Like
Yeah.
brand new stuff, and they like make major updates, and they make tons of money off the microtransactions. There is zero reason for sub-based games anymore.
Because once the gameplay is golden, they'll support you. They'll buy skins if they love playing the game. That's just how it works. I mean, look at Apex. Apex came out free. I'm sure that makes EA a ton of money. Everyone loves buying battle passes and shit. So go ahead.
League of Legends, like, I mean, you spend,
yep, you're right.
Like I was spending maybe $20-$30 a month. I ended up spending over like $2,000 over a 5-year period. Now, $2,000 is not a ton, but you got to think like how many people are playing this game?
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people, and like even if half those people are spending a couple of dollars here and there, you're just raking in the money. And you're doing these major tournaments, and you're hosting, private stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
If you pour that money back into the game itself, it'll grow. That's just how it works.
Exactly.
You hear that, Valve? TF2. Just letting you know.
Wait, are you talking about Titanfall or?
Let's go. Yes, and make another Titanfall 2. Damn, man, Titanfall 2 was so good. I loved it. I saw Adam bought it, and I just commented immediately on Steam. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, he was talking to me about it the other day. He was like, I bought it because I wanted to try something. I think he just wanted to play the story, and then, I don't know if he's really done anything with it.
I hope he's played it. The story mode is actually really cool in Titanfall 2, and then the multiplayer is just. If you like movement in that game, gosh, you can be jumping off walls, sliding into your mech. Oh my, it's just too good. All right. Anyway, that's it for the week. I don't know if there's any other news, Randall. You got any news? No, not at all.
You're not gonna tell him about how you're setting up your own equipment, Randall?
Let's go. Yes, sir. Gonna have his mic set up for next week. It's gonna be good. Camera, we'll see. But that mic, Randall, you better get that shit ready. Don't look at your phone. Check on your phone for.
I mean, you got that new graphics card and everything. Like,
You can use your GPU for audio. It's a lot of processing that the GPU can do for audio. Right? Oh, man. All right. Releases for this week. We got some heavy hitters. I guess breaking news. Halo Infinite's multiplayer is out for everyone because the multiplayer is free to play. Randall, I mentioned it to you in Discord. I know you're not looking at me like it's news, right? I tagged you specifically, right?
I didn't say anything. I saw it.
Okay. Right. Because
I was just going to ask, when are we going to play?
Maybe tomorrow. I can install it.
do you have to down? Is Halo Infinite part of the Master Chief Pack collection, or is that something new?
Separate. Just go to Steam and look up Halo Infinite. You can just download it directly.
I mean, I'm sure it's on the main page.
Yeah, after today's drop, yeah, I'm sure it's on the main page.
Battlefield 2042 is on the main page right now.
Because spoilers, that's coming out Friday. So
it says that it released 3 days ago.
Oh, for the gold edition, like Ultimate Edition, sorry.
Oh, yeah, like Gold and Ultimate Edition came out.
Yeah, if you pre-ordered it. I mean, if you ordered like the more expensive one, you got early access. A week early access, which is, whatever. So yeah, Halo Infinite dropped because the multiplayer apparently was announced that it's going to be free to play regardless. So they decided to just drop it today on the 20th anniversary of Halo/Xbox. That means that December 8th comes campaign mode, which I'm also looking forward to because it's going to be like an open world one now this time around. So
they do have a disclaimer that says the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta is now available and free to play.
That's weird. It says that the progress carries over though for the main game, so I don't know what the deal is. This is like all the maps are out, all the weapons, and like it's like if you're playing multiplayer on release day. So I'm not sure if there's any like fine print somewhere, but to my knowledge, it's out. The multiplayer's out. They have a battle pass there as well that you can purchase and unlock cool cosmetics. It's out. I just have to download it and start playing it. Besides
26
Halo,
gigs.
Yeah, it's like a low amount too. I'm like, cool. Hopefully the campaign is low too, so it doesn't take up too much of my hard drive.
Only another 26 gigs.
Imagine, I'll still be cool with that. A 50 gig game is great nowadays because of like Apex and Fortnite and Call of Duty with their hundreds of gigs and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm good on that. Anyway, Star Wars Jedi Knight Collection. I guess it's like re-releases for the Jedi Knight games, which I heard were good, so I put it on the list. I never played it myself. Grow Song of the Evertree comes out this week. It looked like a cool like management slash crap like survival game. I don't know if it's survival, but like city management building game. I liked it because I saw the trailer and there's like a lot of vibrant creatures, like made up creatures and like environments. Jubilee looks like a very difficult platforming game. And you guys, I'm a fan of Super Meat Boy and Celeste, so I put that on there. I might try that out. It looks like a challenging platforming game. So
I feel like with the bet that Randall and I have going, we should find games and then just challenge each other to them. Like see who can beat games the fastest.
Oh, we can do that. Like GDQ does that. They do streams where like two people will race to see how fast they get to like either a certain point or something. I'm down for that. I mean, I'll try the platforming games because I like playing platforming games. But like puzzle games, nah, bro. That's a handshake immediately. Like whoever I'm going up against, just handshake. But the platforming games, like what's it called? I'm down for that.
I think it'd be really cool to like have us like find a game, be like, okay, Saturday from 6 to 10. We're gonna see who can get the furthest, and then we'll just keep doing that until whoever beats the game first.
I'm done with that. Well, I guess we just got to talk off stream to see what kind of which game. I'm down for something like that. That'd be a fun series or something to record and put on there.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the first game would be. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Shit, we could do the one that you're trying to bet Randall for. After you do you do the bet, and then we can try that. Because he said it's really difficult, so.
I mean, if you're not good, sure.
I'm not good. Because how many times did I tell you I'm not good at games? Like how many? Like there's there's countless thousands of hours of video of me being shit at it, right?
You mean like that 45 minutes of the logs?
You mean the hours? I'm sure it was more than an hour of the log quest. I hated it.
When does that come out?
The second one, I think it's early next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see.
Yeah, just double check. I thought it was in February.
February 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. So January is going to be the God of War on PC, and then Horizon 2 on the console. Then the month after.
You wanna play? You wanna do Demon Souls?
Oh, I have to buy that still. I mean, I'm down for that because I can get past the first level. I know that. The spider level.
You know how to beat the knight.
Yeah. After you told me, after watching me die 70 times, then you're like, you just gotta do this. Fucker. I'm down for doing it for Demon, so I just gotta get it.
Adam was like, when he played it, he's like, either tell me now how to beat it or I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore because he's so frustrated with it.
Yeah, being just tossed into that game, it gets overwhelming and frustrating quick because you're like, what's happening? How am I fucking up so bad? I just healed, but everyone's back. Like a lot gets thrown at you, but once you get the groove, it's fine. More releases. Battlefield 2042 officially releases to the rest of the public who didn't buy the Ultimate or Gold Edition this Friday. I played a bit of it over the weekend. It is running great so far, better than the beta build we had. It's still fun as shit. Hazard Zone's fun. I mean, this is just overview, and then the Portal stuff is really cool to mess around with. You can make custom game modes on the browser and then just use it in game and fill it up with bots or have your friends join and play cool game modes. I'll go into a deeper dive review probably next week. I'm definitely going to be playing it again. Pokemon has remakes this week. Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond are the remakes for Pearl and Diamond. So for those who played it back then or who haven't, this is your chance to play that. Farmus, did you send something?
I sent you something. Yeah. It's the New World
the code
HTML
injection. Oh my! I'll read that in a bit.
It's even worse than I remember reading, and this is 16, 20 days ago.
That's insane. I'll check that out in a bit. And then Farming Simulator 2022 comes out. I think the 2021 one sold or edition sold a good amount. So here we are. For movies, we got Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out this week, and King Richard, the documentary. I think it is about the guy who trained the sisters, right?
Their father.
Oh, I don't know those are dad.
Yeah.
And played by Will Smith. It's gonna be on HBO Max and in theaters. Ghostbusters, I think, is not on streaming services. It's just gonna be in theaters.
Yeah, I think it's coming out in theaters first.
But HBO Max is like, we want people to keep subbing, so let's start releasing all of our stuff day in, date on the streaming platform. Which kudos to you guys. That's the right move in this day and age.
I get this. That's another thing. Like, I mean, we could go on like this for hours, but there's so you have Hulu, Netflix, Sling,
Amazon
and
Prime,
HBO. Yeah,
Peacock.
like there's so many different services, and the thing is that like each of the services, Disney Plus and all that other crap, buy rights to certain parts of series. And so like, oh, you want to watch Scrubs? Oh, well, seasons 1, 3, and 7 are on Hulu.
Yeah.
But 2 and 4 are on Netflix, and 5 and 6 and 8 are all on Disney Plus or Amazon Prime. And it's like, why would I want to pay
$70 just to watch Scrubs? The fuck? Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with the launchers, right? When it first came out, EA with theirs, Ubisoft with theirs, Rockstar with theirs. But as soon as when Netflix started doing their own thing, and Hulu came out, Amazon Prime, like everyone has had their video services. Now Paramount Plus has their own, and now they're pushing that a bit too with new series like TV shows and things like that. It's just this is why people start still paying for cable and or finding other ways to watch this content because you guys are making it so fucking expensive again. Before it was like, oh, everything was on Netflix, or everything was on Netflix and or Hulu. Oh, okay, 2 subscriptions. That's not so bad. $30 is still cheaper than my cable bill of $90, right?
Yeah.
And now trying to get all the services, you'll be paying more than cable.
My favorite is when AT&T was like, oh, we can save you money on your internet. Oh, what are you going to reduce it to? Well, if you bundle it with, okay, stop there, fam. Like,
Yeah.
Just because you reduce my internet service does not mean that we're reducing my bill, and that's what you just promised me. Like, they're like, but you save like $30 on your internet. I was like, yes, and then it's another $120 on my fucking TV, which I'm not going to use.
Yeah, and then most of the bundled ones has slower speeds. So it's like, what are you doing? It's just whatever. That's it for movies that I saw on there. I don't know if you guys are checking. No, Randall's checking the Instagram again. And then for music, we have Adele dropping her latest album called 30 this Friday. So we're going to review that next week. So get ready for that.
Well, what is it?
Adele drops her latest album on Friday. So we're definitely going to be hopefully gushing over it, but you never know. Sometimes it might hit you with like a left turn and you're like, what happened, right? So we'll see. And that is all we got for you. Randall, what do you have for them this week? Nothing. Absolutely nothing? Nothing?
Just normal work, gym,
Just waiting for it.
He can see us now. He says look up.
You got thumbs up. What does that mean?
You're missing one.
What?
What are you missing, Randall, every week? You consistently miss. Praying. Jesus, man.
Are you serious, bro? I don't miss that. I do that multiple times a day.
You clearly do on the podcast.
You're missing it now.
I don't need to announce that.
The Lord says you do. He came to me and told me. In voice. You should watch Midnight Mass, Randall. You love it.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Kelsey. What you got for us this week, man? You're back in the home. You're streaming setup. You have access to it. Is it time for some streams? What are we doing?
It is definitely time for some streams because we got to settle the bet between me and Randall,
Let's get it.
which is still very much valid.
Yes, it absolutely is. I'm not sure why he thought he can just slide that and back out of it. That's not
Yeah,
happening.
whatever, man. If the shoe had been reversed, it would be a different story.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it would not. What evidence do you have that would support that fucking claim?
If I made a bet with somebody, the bet stands until the bet is completed.
Yeah, when have we any of us here backed down from a bet like that? Loading.
Is that supposed to be a question I'm supposed to answer?
Yes, Randall, not just continue to look at your phone to the point where you're showing the top of your head to the camera, right?
I mean, it was more of a rhetorical statement because we've never done that, but we'll go with it. So this week, I think I have time that I can sit down and actually do it. Need to know from you guys what the best day would be so that I can make sure that everybody can see it. If it's on a weekend, that's fine. I just need to know what day.
Either tomorrow or Thursday, because Wednesday I'm hanging out with my aunt. She came up to Orlando for a bit.
All right.
You remember my
I can't
aunt,
do
right?
tomorrow because I don't get home until like 9.
So probably Thursday.
Okay. What time? Let's just start at 8?
Oh, yes, perfect. If it's starting at 8, that's fine.
All right, Randall, you going to be around? I want to make sure that everybody can watch.
What do you mean he's going to be? What's he going to be doing at 8 o'clock on a Thursday?
I don't know. I mean, he's got bitches. He does lots of things.
Oh, those are facts. Yeah, he could be out like in Vegas or something by that time. Look. Get off your phone.
You guys over here making.
It doesn't matter. You're in the middle of doing something, Randall. Put it away.
Listening to you guys lie about me having women.
Yes, that's what podcast. Your etiquette is horrendous. You're doing something. Put the fucking phone away. Right?
Listen to you guys lying about me.
It doesn't matter what we're doing. We could be sitting here talking.
It matters. Didn't you say millions of people were watching?
Yeah.
So then now they're gonna have false information about me.
Then speak up and say it's false. Not stare at your phone and show us your top of your head, right? Sangano. He just got sauce, so the Puerto Ricans out there know, right? What are we talking about? Thursday. Got it. Yeah.
Randall, you gonna be around?
Nah, I'm not gonna be around.
He's got
so Thursday it is.
Yeah, 8 p.m.
Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm gonna crush this on hard, the very first try, and he's gonna stream for the next 6 months.
Let's get it.
Or he's gonna stream every
weekend.
Every weekend?
It was every weekend for the next
6 months. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we needed some time slots for Saturday. Well, I mean, there's no streams on the weekend, so that's great. You're taking those time slots, right? So you decided on what mic and camera again?
I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. It's not going to happen.
Holy shit, dude! I just hope he does. He just fucking destroys it. Oh my god, that'd be really funny. Anyway,
it's not gonna happen.
I understand.
I don't know why. Why are you so enthusiastic about
because
this?
He's excited for you to start streaming, like we've been telling you to start doing for years now. And if you had started years ago, you'd have this even bigger following, like a massive following, and you could quit your job and do this, and then do your fashion line on the side, and not have to go to work every day.
And I also like rooting for the underdog. And the amount of shit you talked about him not doing it, he's the underdog. So imagine him just coming up and just conquering that, right? That content writes itself, right? Like that's easy. That's a story to tell. Our children, our grandchildren, right? Just hit me with a Is that what you just did? No, Randall, we fighting after this. Get your socks ready.
Socks?
Yeah. Real men fight with socks. Oh, that's funny to you too? All right. Get your bells. So besides the thing, what else are you doing this week?
Friday I'm gonna go see a buddy play at a bar on Friday night.
Oh, nice. A musician?
And, yeah. So they're just a cover band. He plays the drums, and they have a lead singer. I think they got a couple new people, but it was just him and the singer, playing the guitar, playing the drums, and singing. but it's always fun to go out and support them and watch them.
I mean, you can plug them here. What's their names? And the band's name.
I do not know the band's name. I don't
Alrighty.
know that he's ever actually told me.
We'll cut this out. All right.
But he was one of the guys on my team at work who just recently left. And I told him, I was like, yo, if you ever have, because he was supposed to have a gig a couple Fridays ago, but because of the SpaceX launch that was here in Charleston,
Yeah.
one of his band members is in the Coast Guard, and so he had to go there for that instead.
Oh, got it.
So, but I told him, I was like, if you ever have a gig, just let me know. Definitely try and show up.
That's dope. It's good stuff. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you next week how it went. I guess that's dope.
So I'm gonna crush this bet between me and Randall, and then we're gonna have to find our next thing that we can do, the like races or whatever.
Yeah, I'll look into that to see if we could find some like speed runs or something. Or I mean, we could do like speed run races of older games like Mega Man or like like Legend of Zelda or something.
Start with the classics, Super Mario.
Ooh, I love me some Super Mario World. All right. Okay, that's it. On my end, we have probably Halo tomorrow. If I gotta be completely honest with you, because I was trying to play some Infinite. So Randall, you know what to do, right?
Did you get it on Steam?
The multiplayer is free to play, so you can get it on Steam or Game Pass, whichever one.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean, it's cross.
I get it on Game Pass. Yeah.
It's crossplay compatible, so it doesn't matter which platform, because you sign in with your Xbox account anyway. So it'll work that way. So most likely Halo tomorrow, if I had to guess, unless something else came up. Wednesday, I don't believe I'll be streaming. I'll be hanging out with my aunt. Thursday, we might stream after the bet thing here that we have going on here. I'm not sure how long that will take, but we'll figure it out, right? Or if not, I'll stream earlier and then end at 8.
I mean, we're gonna have to find something to do because it's like we're talking like 20,
a minute.
It's probably gonna take me 20 minutes of just like getting it booted up, making sure that everybody's here, and showing off that I have 0 hours in the game still. And
that's true. We got to prove that everything's legit. That's
and
true.
then another 15 minutes of me just crushing the first level, and then maybe I'll continue if it's a decent game still.
If you're yawning by the end of the first try, you're like, oh, God, what was he talking about? That's insane. Okay. That's about it for the week. I don't believe I'll be streaming Saturday and Sunday, but maybe. Again, the weekends are always a maybe, depending on how I'm feeling. But I usually like to relax and just eat pizza and play games. So, like Forza. I'm definitely going to be crushing some Forza this weekend. And that's about it for this episode of the ADLR Podcast. I'm going to try that again without running into like 6 fucking letters in one go. That is it for this episode of the ADLR Podcast. We'll be back next week with, Adele's album review. Maybe we'll talk about some Schitt's Creek. I think Brian's been running through that show, and I think I finished the second season last night. Maybe we'll get around to watching Eternals sometime this week. That's still in our backlog. I don't know what else. So, I mean, whatever pops up. Maybe Red Notice. Because, I mean, I've been wanting to watch it. Or Arcane as well, my take on it.
So, Llama went and watched, in my chat, went and watched Red Notice. And he gave it a generous 5, and his girlfriend gave it a 6.
Out of 10?
And I don't know what either of them. I don't know if they even watched the correct movie at this point, so I don't know that I can take his word for it.
Damn, that is like the opposite take of what you just gave us. He said a generous 5?
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah,
it was fucking hilarious to me.
Dang, that's quite the. I mean, then that sounds like it's polarizing. Maybe we'll come back next week and have words to throw at each other. That's wild. I don't think it's gonna be bad. Ryan Reynolds always makes me laugh. He entertained everyone that's in there. Has entertained me. So I don't think I'm not too worried about it.
He says the jokes were spaced out pretty far. It was next level cheesy, and maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with
So
cheesy. So
I,
like that's
I can understand that. It is definitely kind of a cheesy movie, you know, like not something I really thought of because I just really enjoyed the movie.
Mhm.
But it definitely has. I mean, like I said, it was like Deadpool. You know, it's very much
that
just
type of humor. Yeah.
yeah, you know.
So I'm okay
So
with that. So it's definitely gonna be a perversion thing, but it sounds like it's gonna be right up my alley. So that's an easy yeah. I'll watch it. Same with Arcane. I hope it sticks to landing this week because if I binge just 9 episodes of greatness, I'm just not you're not gonna be able to see my camera. It's gonna be filled with some sort of substance, right? And what are you looking like that for? Like I insulted you. What are you doing?
Just trying to figure out what you were talking about.
Don't worry about it. It's not made for kids. Television show. I had to edit that out earlier. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with some Halo, hopefully. And if not, probably Forza. Papa likes driving in Forza.
I did install that because it's on Game Pass, the Forza 5 or whatever.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 5. Oh, talk about putting yourself on autopilot and just. First of all, the game looks fantastic. The cars look great. The races are fun. Some of them are like crazy spectacle races where it's like, okay, this is kind of over the top and weird, but it's just fun.
I think I'm gonna try and convince Adam to get the Game Pass so that we can install Back for Blood and then team up with you two.
Oh, we'll be down. Yeah, absolutely. That game's fun. There's some like balancing issues that the game needs because you know how we hate when it just overwhelms you with the bullshit. This game is notorious for overwhelming you with bullshit. But besides that, it's really fun. I'm definitely down.
All right. Well, I'll try and get him, and then I'll ping you guys about it and see what's there.
Okay. And that's it, peeps. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I guess for the people listening on the podcast, we'll see you guys next
All right,
week.
guys. That is it for me.